As you can tell, I like to go fast. Our race team is really well prepared. We like to look good, but we also like to dress good, and that's why we shop at Franklin Road Apparel. I own the company, and I wear the clothes that we sell in that store. So check us out. We carry all the top brands: Baldwin, John Barbados, Billy Reed, Goodman brand, and on down the list. So come see us, Franklin Road Apparel, Franklin, Tennessee.
Lightweighting means reducing mass and consolidating parts. No one tackles these design and tooling challenges better than three-dimensional services. We'll provide flexible tooling solutions, including integrating parts, reducing design complexity, or even design changes. We're the go-to source for rapid manufacturing and low-volume production. Trust three-dimensional services to develop the most efficient approach to meet your lightweighting challenges today. Three-dimensional services. Prototype, production, proven.
Menards is the Midwest's ultimate home improvement store. Family owned since 1958, Menards is the one-stop shop where you always save big money. Get the Midwest's best selection nationwide when you shop online at menards.com. We make it easy to complete your projects around the house, big or small. From hardware to plumbing or paint to appliances, we carry it all. Visit menards.com today to save big money at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Trans Am series presented by Pirelli. This week it's round 4 and we're at the famous corkscrew at Laguna Seca in California. With me, Adam Andretti, and it's also very important to remember that this circuit will be back-to-back with Sonoma next week, so a double header here. So I guess the whole key is to get out of here with all the points but no crashes.
That's it, Jonathan. You got to keep yourself nice and clean here for a couple reasons. First of all, you got to have the good points when we leave here, Laguna Seca. We're going to Sonoma next week. You can't have that on your conscience either, that you blew away a bunch of points here at Laguna. You want to go into Sonoma knowing that you got a firm grasp on this championship, and you don't want to give your guys and gals any more extra work on that race team.
Well, given what you've just said, does that make you as a driver drive more conservatively?
Well, I mean, of course you have to in certain cases. You may not take the chances with traffic or things of that sort, but it's a championship, and this is Trans Am. Every lap out there is a battle, and at the end of the race, you want to win that war. And you can't do that if you don't have any fenders hanging on the car.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the thing is, it may only be round 4 of the championship, but there's a lot of unfinished business here at Laguna from last year. Tommy Dreese won the race, but Dyson should have won it. He's our current champion, of course, and leads the championship, but by only 12 points. So, a lot of unfinished business, and this territory is Tommy Dreese. He, of course, is from California, and he's down with Ben Sissel.
Hey, I am with current second in place in points in the TA Series, Tommy Dreese. I'm so glad to see you back from Road Atlanta. That was a crazy race. You had the oil issues and the smoke. Have you fully recovered from that?
The smoke first, that kind of freaked me out. We were right there, nose to tail, and so I didn't let the smoke get in the way of the racing. I realized that there was oil going into the foot box, and I was a little concerned about the brake pedal and slipping off the brake pedal. And then I just said, you know what, I just better manage second place.
Manage the race. Wise words from Tommy Dreese. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you, Ben. Yes, we'll be hearing from Ben Sissel throughout the weekend as we look high above the Monterey Peninsula. You can see the glorious sea in the background, the Pacific Ocean. What a day, what a place, what an iconic venue. 1957 they started racing here, and it's been running ever since. Trans Am has raced here for 12 years, in and out of the championship. We started here back in the late 60s and early 70s, and we're, of course, back here. COVID, we had 1 year off, but we did race here last year, and you heard there some drama and some unfinished business. But welcome to round 4 of the Trans Am series presented by Pirelli, and coming up it's our TA, XGT, SGT and GT round 4. But before we head to the start of the race, once again Ben Sissel is amongst it. Let's head down to him for some more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Fan Walk. If you're here at the Fan Walk, please make your way up the hill. We've got some very historic cars here at the Trans Am SpeedFest. Patrick, who I know as a professional modern Ferrari driver, now here you are in this beautiful 67 Shelby. That's got to be a total difference.
Yeah, it's a blast of the past. It's a lot of fun. Tires definitely a limitation. A lot of power, a lot of fun, though. Car's always sideways, zero aero.
I know this car has a lot of history because it's HTA, which means historic Trans Am. It had to have raced in the Trans Am series from 1966 to 1972. Do you know the history of this beautiful car?
Yeah, Bob West drove it. He bought it new. It was always a race car from day one, and it, like you said, it competed in historic Trans Am. So it's a great group, and they raced pretty hard and together, sideways the whole time. So, yeah, that's who drove it.
Perfect. Patrick, thank you so much for bringing out this newly finished Bob West Shelby, number 15 of 26, made for the Trans Am Series or in Europe in FIA. Then we come over here, Ed, one of my favorite cars. This has a lot of history. It raced in 1969 at Laguna Seca and at Sonoma, that you know as Sears Point. Tell us about the car.
Well, it's purchased originally in Europe, raced in Europe for 2 years, brought over here, won 2 championships at the SECA, and raced the Trans Am at Riverside in 1968 with Bruce O'Neill. And Walt Moss drove the car in 69 in a Trans Am here and Trans Am at Sears Point. He placed 15th out of 40 cars, won $700, and he came in 4th in under 2-liter group.
Nice, 4th and under 2-liter group. But there is a famous photo of your car coming down the corkscrew right behind that famous Mark Donahue Penske Camaro. That's pretty cool.
Yes, beautiful. This is a beautiful car. It's an old war horse. I put 200 street miles on it.
200,000 street miles, right?
200,000 street miles on it, and then brought it back to race because that's where it belongs, right?
I love it. Ed, you're my new favorite, dude. I love it. And then this beautiful Sam Posey Slime Green Classic Wax Challenger. So many great films with this car. Just here, the last turn, this car right here put Peter Revson into the wall in the 1970 championship at Laguna Seca. I see you've buffed that out, but Chad, tell us about this car.
Actually, this car made its debut here at Laguna Seca in 1970, and there's a great story about it here. It had just passed tech inspection. It hadn't even run yet. And John Tamanis, the tech inspector for SCCA, went just like this. And when he leaned back on the hood, they'd just given him a beer. His elbow dented the roof. And he said, well, boys, we got a problem. And so Chrysler called in a dealership closest to this track, and they were able to cut off the roof of a passenger car, put it on this car so it could make the race. And they raced it with somebody else's roof on it. You know, somebody at a dealership that was hopefully hadn't taken delivery yet, and painted it black, and then it started racing.
That is awesome. Little secrets, right? The little cheats going on. So, Steve Link, quickly, I know you race in historic Trans Am, but also the beautiful B Sedan Challenge. Tell us about your Datsun.
This Datsun was raced in 1971 and 1972 in the brand new 2.5 Challenge. That would be the first year that they separated the small sedans and the big bore cars. So I found this car in the late 90s and bought it from a doctor in Alabama. And then my father, who was an engine builder for BRE, was involved to help in the restoration of the car. So it was a load of fun and a revisit of his past. Peter Brock and John Morton helped. So we tried to make the car as authentic as possible and just having a great time.
I love Love it. Having a great time is what it's all about in vintage racing, and Steve Link definitely knows how to do that. But Gordon Johnson driving this car, one of my favorite cars, cool era of Trans Am, the 91 Olds Cutlass Rocket Sports Paul Gentilozzi car. Tell us about your car.
Well, this car originally campaigned in 1991, Trans Am with Irv Air, Rocket Sports Racing. He won 3 races that year out of in a season, placed second overall. Then they campaigned it in 1992 as an IMSA GTO car, running back then in a V6 Buick engine, and it was a championship car that year. He won 6 races, including the last race here at Laguna Seca.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Gordon, thank you so much. Thanks for bringing that out. Now let's come down here to modern Trans Am, because like I said, we have almost 60 years of Trans Am history represented here. These are the cars about to make Trans Am history. Chris Dyson on the pole, getting the Motul Pole Award. We've got a ton of cars here, the National Series, the West Coast Series, the Trans Am SpeedFest at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, as we're watching Chris Dyson get into the car. Some great history here. If you know anything about current Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, you know we have great races here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. They're going to suit up. It's about to get loud, gentlemen, so I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth.
I had Adam on point to do an interview. He's in shorts. He's standing right there under the light.
So, as we can see, thanks Ben, lovely stuff down there, getting us really nicely warmed up for what is about to take place and giving us some history that brings us right up to date. Getting ready for the colour guard and, of course, our National Anthem coming up. I'm delighted to be joined by Adam Andretti. Adam, how are you set for your race tomorrow afternoon?
I think we're in good shape, and you know, this is always a great time of our race weekends here, is to honor the military, those that sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice for us to enjoy this freedom, and so this is beautiful to see the presentation of our colors right here.
So, with our colour guard introduced, let's head down for our National Anthem. And once again, join Ben Sissel.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce Julie Posey to sing the National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, Julie Posey, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, gentlemen, we've got a lot of new drivers in this race today. I'd like for you to go through the grid. Send it back to you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Ben. An excellent rendition there of our national anthem as we look at the cars. It's no closer than to look at the number 20, which, of course, is our champion, Chris Dyson, who has had a brilliant run at Road Atlanta, and he's about to do the same again here. He got a 1:23.7, a new lap record. But Tommy Dreese, just 6,000ths of a second, and that's first and second in the championship. Simon Gregg, Masood, Ruman, Lux. Great to have Cindy Lux back in the National Championship. Mike Weathers, Chris Evans joining us from the West Championship. McMillan and Leuenberger, good to see Dirk back in the fold again. Then Howard Johnston and Michael LaPaglia from Southern California. Eric Joyner for the Good Boy Coffee Roaster Porsche GT3. He's back as well. Mike Skeen down in 14th position. In that Lamborghini. That'll be interesting to see. And Ken Thwaites has been put back. He got a third in qualifying, but has been put back for an infraction, a technical infraction. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Adam Carolla, no time. He had a accident in hitting the wet water that was down after the rain, and basically stands there in 16th position. So, as we get ready for this our TA race. Adam, as I said, unfinished business, just to take people back. Last year, Boris said, basically, Chris Dyson totally dominated the race. He had pole position, he had fastest lap, most laps led, and then the last restart, Boris said, just muscled his way through. It's racing, but it did take out Chris Dyson, and he did finish 8th. He crawled to a finish, but not the way he wanted to finish.
No, he wasn't really all thrilled with how that went down here last year, and but you know that was early on in the year, and he went on to a dominant streak, and is our reigning champion for a reason. So he's off to a great start in this 2022 campaign, and obviously here. But formidable competitor right there next door to him, in Tommy Dreese, obviously just 6/1000ths of a second away, and you know there's a great camaraderie developing there as far as within the team, and he really appreciates the pretty much the structure that you get out of Gentilozzi's squad.
Yep, good point. Let's head down once again to Ben Sissel, who is now on in front of our TA and XGT, SGT, and GT grid.
Well, here I am with one of my childhood heroes, our Grand Marshal for the weekend, Willie T. Ribbs, to deliver some of the most famous words in motorsports. Willie, I know that you've been a Trans Am legend for years. You know how to do this. Take the mic. Take it away, Willie T. Ribbs.
Drivers, let's get it on. Start your engines.
Hey, love you, dude. All right, thank you.
Willie T. Ribbs doing what only Willie T. can.
Let's get it on.
Well, let's get it on. Channeling his inner Marvin Gaye, I think. But great stuff. And, of course, let's not forget 61 starts, 17 wins. The right guy in the right place, Willie T. Ribbs. Both an IndyCar star and, of course, a Trans Am star in his day. And a lovely, lovely character. He'll be with us for your race. Looking forward to that. But tell us a little bit about this infraction, first of all, to Ken Thwaites, because that's the big story for me. It looks as though, everything was going right for he and the team. Carolla has an accident, and then he has an infringement.
Yeah, it's just a small technical infringement, nothing that those guys would ever intend and honestly, what it was, from my understanding, it was somewhere in the rear wing as far as either be too low. I think it was too low. Oh. And just by the
that's gotta hurt.
And it does, but at the same time, pretty much every competitor knows that wasn't the difference maker, why he was there. But there are rules for a reason, so they gave him for it. But now, Ken's poised to go give a heck of a drive. We lost a dear friend yesterday to cancer in Teddy Trappist, so I know that he is racing with a heavy heart. He's going to go out there and put on a great performance for us today.
Yeah, and you've got some personal news you want to share also from your team, right?
Yeah, you know, my engineer, Seth Holbrook, he unfortunately suffered a mild stroke last week. He's going to be okay, but all the prayers to him and for a speedy recovery. We look forward to having him back at the races, but most importantly to just get healthy. But yeah, I appreciate that, Jonathan. So any of those prayers and well wishes we can get his way are always great.
So what are your thoughts? We mentioned Carolla's incident, and that was because of water down on the track, which you must have probably dealt with it yourself. Go on, tell us about it.
Oh, man, that was it was sketchy yesterday. I mean, it black flagged our session yesterday because I think there was just there was like they were trying to put a compliment sandwich into the track conditions, and we really didn't need that. We just need to know what they were, because the message came through from the Trans Am officials, track is good, but there's a river in turn 3. Well, the back half of that message didn't get to a lot of teams. All they heard was track was good. And so everyone went racing into turn 3 with this big river coming down into it, and you had all this grip leading into it, and then all of a sudden you hit the river and you're on slick tires. So we're on board here with Tommy Dreese getting everything warmed up in that Lucas branded Ford Mustang. Eric Joyner, this beautiful 911 GT3R.
Yeah, it's good to have Eric Joyner back in the Porsche GT3R, and in fact it's his first return to racing, so welcome back, as it were, for the 2022 season. And of course this is a back-to-back event, and let's talk about that, Adam. We mentioned it at the top of the show, but why is it so important that you basically, I don't know, I was going to say race conservatively, but you can't, can you?
You can't. No, I mean, there's just no such thing as a racer. So, I mean, what did the great Ayrton Senna say? If you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a racing driver.
Very true.
And so there's these drivers, you know, and they're going to lay it on the line. They need to get this win. They need to get the points, and so they're not going to lay down by any means. But at the same time, you know, if you don't think, and really honestly, you have enough meetings ahead of time with your team management and things like that it's in the back of your mind enough that you might not take some of the chances that you would normally take. But I think on board here at Ken Thwaites in that Franklin Road Apparel Chevrolet Camaro, I think we're going to see a really good show out of him today coming from the tail.
Yeah, this is the first time actually I think we'll see Ken really have to fight, because he's always qualified well since he joined TA, but he's been learning the way in TA, and you had many years, of course, in TA yourself, and not an easy car for someone like Ken coming from XGT. He was our first XGT champion, but it's a big change, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they're animals to drive. I mean, there's no question about it. You have 0 driving aids, so no traction control, no analog brakes, you know, none of that, and you're sitting underneath, you know, you got over 900 horsepower underneath your right foot. Very powerful braking systems, tons of downforce. The cars are built to be the baddest GT cars on the planet, and that's what we have here in Trans Am.
Let me ask you a question as we're on board with the Lucas on board of number 8, Tommy Dreese. This is his home race. He's based in Hollywood. But there's a change to Tommy, and you perhaps know better than anybody what that change is. He's looked quicker. He was 0.06 of a second off Chris Dyson, who is well known as the man to beat in TA. What is it? Is it the new team?
I think there's a lot to do with that, and that's just me, you know, having friendly conversations with Tommy, and we had a nice little pal around out the back of the haulers, you know, the other day. I think it was Thursday, their test day, and he said it. He said it just like that. I love the structure that it provides me. He goes, I can tend to kind of go off the path a little bit, and Paul and the guys don't let him do that. It's very serious business over there, as we all take this racing very serious, but they really keep him on track. And you know, anybody that knows Tommy, we all know him. He's funny. He's an entertainer, and as you said earlier, and he's just a real treat to be around. This is another guy, a real treat to be around. Eric Joyner, just so glad to have his smile back in this paddock. He's such an enjoyable character, and I'm sure he's just been incredibly busy. Is what kept him away from us so far this year. But we're in his home state now, so he gets to come play.
Yep. Paul Gentilozzi is the Paul you were mentioning, and of course Paul's probably the most, if not the most successful driver and team manager in the history of Trans Am.
Yeah, I mean, he is so much of Trans Am history, so there's a good reason why they're hooked up and they're doing the thing that they're doing as we're getting the field to tighten up.
Yep.
To come around here and turn 11 and bring us to the green there, Jonathan.
Well, here we go then. Our TA will kick us off. Ken Thwaites will be at the back of this group, and he'll need to make a good start. On the left-hand side is the white of Chris Dyson, but Dreesy will try and get ahead, and Dreesy has stolen a march. The number 8 is flying in that blue Lucas number 8 into the lead ahead of Dyson. Just what he wanted. Dyson tries to come back at him as they go into turn 2.
Wow, what a start. I mean, that was some really impressive stuff. Dyson wanted to take a look there right on Dreesy, and then it was really late braking and almost was able, you know, like a little bit of a lockup, so he didn't get the back of Dreesy. Dreesy runs a little bit wide there in turn 3. Going to give him a good run, Dyson, into 4-5.
And you can see how hard they're pushing already from above. We can see the gap they pulled on Humed Masood, who makes a mistake. Incidentally, here comes Dreesy, here comes Dyson again as they head into 5. It's racy stuff, but Dreesy's doing exactly what he should do in the opening salvo of this race.
Yeah, you see, Tommy's moving a lot. You got to be careful with that much movement. As you see Ken going in. On Humed, he's going to go a little wide. Just keep it nice and clean.
Humed goes round, and Masood.
Good miss. Really good work there by all the drivers. Great job by all the drivers to not get collected in that, and I believe we're going to stay green here.
And Greg's got ahead of Thwaites, who've done all the work there as they head into the corkscrew. Down they come. Here's Amy Ruman in the number 23 Corvette. We haven't mentioned Amy too much because she's 3rd in the championship, and this is a big weekend and 2 weekends for her too, as Ken Thwaites is right behind her now as they head into turn 10.
I believe she's 3rd in this race right now. I think she was the big beneficiary of all that mess right there, as we see the leaders up there just now coming under the bridge. And Dyson or Dreesy's been able to get a little bit of a gap on Chris Dyson. As you see, Ken Thwaites getting underneath Simon Gregg on the exit 11 there and gaining that position. Now he'll put Amy in his crosshairs here, and he'll go after that Corvette there, that McNichols Corvette of Amy Ruman.
Yeah, slight mistake by Simon Gregg there. Tommy Dreesy sets us away with a 128.9 and a 129.1 from Dyson. Not the start Dyson wanted. I spoke to Chris yesterday, and I said, you know, what's the key here? I said, it's going to be busy. You're going to have got traffic from the other groups. And he said, yeah, I want to be out front without any problems. I don't want to be fighting with Tommy. But that's unfortunately exactly what he's doing right now.
Unfortunate for him, but good for us.
No,
it's given us very entertaining view here of what's going on. And Tommy's holding a pretty wheel here. He had to do a lot of work. It seemed like Dyson's car was going to fire off a little bit better. That Tommy was experiencing a lot of understeer, where the front end just doesn't want to turn. You put the wheel input in, but the car doesn't go where you want it to go directionally. So I believe he's fighting some of that until the tire pressures came up and the car kind of came alive as we see that gap starting to shrink between the 3rd place runner of Amy Ruman.
Down through Rainy Curve they come, and again into turn 10. Dreesy in the blue and the white of Dyson right there with him. Those two are pulling away from 3rd place. Amy Ruman in TA. Joyner is between them. No, in fact, Ruman's got past Joyner, and now Thwaites is in 4th place. So we've got a good battle for 1st and a good battle for 3rd. Just what we want.
Yeah, this is good racing all the way around the track, all the way through the GT battles as well. But really up front, you're watching Eric Joyner right here actually climbing onto the board to the back there of the Trans Am car of Simon Gregg. So that would be for 5th place overall that Eric Joyner is going for there in that beautiful Good Boy Bob Coffee's Porsche 911 GT3, and doing a great job as they head down to their Optima batteries hairpin.
Yeah, this is an interesting car to be in because even though they're different classes and the horsepower is different, this car, this Porsche particularly, is so nimble around the slower corners, and that's why he's able to catch up with Simon Gregg through the inside sector of this particular track as they dive through 4.
Yeah, Simon's come in with some limited track time. He came in yesterday afternoon and got in the car and did a brilliant job qualifying and put the car up there after the penalties, was in P3. As you're going to see, this gets to be pretty racy here. But yeah, he's doing a good job. He's just trying to probably get a feel for the car over a 100-mile race here because he hasn't put in the time through the practice sessions that all the other competitors have. So he's just out there finding his rhythm. Got a little bit shook up there, I think, at the beginning with all the, with all the jockeying for position that was going on. But there's a really, really close of the gap. And I mean, this Porsche is built for Laguna Seca.
And this is classic to be on board with Joyner because you can see that the car in front obviously has the horsepower up the Rahal straight, and then he closes it under braking. And this is where he's going to use his advantage coming down the hill into the last section. Maybe at turn 11 he'll have a go there. But if the TA car is going to stay ahead, he's going to have to use the power and the horsepower of those straights. As we see, look, for the first time, Cindy Lux in the 45 Viper, a constant of usual, but she hasn't raced in the National Series since, 2019. Great to have her back.
It's great to have Cindy back. We love Cindy Lux. She's always a great addition in the paddock, and another one of those smiling faces we're happy to have here and around. But yeah, just they're a family operation. They do an awesome job getting things here, and you know, and they're you know, again, doing more West Coast races. I hope they're coming next week too. But was that a pass for position? I don't believe so. No, that's Bob Mueller in the XGT car, and he's going to set his sights on Eric Joyner now that he's got around Cindy Lux.
Yeah, talk about a last-minute entry. Bob came in this morning. I met him at Tech and had a quick chat from the man from Solano Beach, California, and he was expected to be doing SVRA, and they said, well, we've got this car. Why don't you give it a go? He's got Octavia Tequila on the side of the car, which he's very proud of. It's a new brand he's brought out of San Diego, and he tells me you can buy it online too, so that's always a plus. But we're really delighted to have him last minute.
Yeah, no, absolutely a great addition last minute, and definitely gives something for Eric Joyner to think about. That's probably why he is pressing to get around Simon Gregg so hard, is to try and open up that position. As we look at this battle right here between, I believe, was that Chris Evans?
Yeah, Chris Evans from Portland in Oregon coming in. This is effectively his first race at Laguna. He said he did race it 14 years ago. He said, but officially, as far as I'm concerned, it's my first race.
Yeah, right.
And he and his teammate, effectively, which is Howard Johnston, down in SGT, they're battling away. And Chris Evans basically trying to see if he can get on level terms with Cindy Lux.
Yeah, can't wait. So look now, it's actually closed that gap quite a bit to the McNichols Corvette of Amy Ruman. The two-time champ is right up ahead of him in his sights. So on board with that Franklin Road apparel, beautiful Carolina blue on black here with that color scheme there for the Franklin Road apparel Chevrolet Camaro. But he is on the hunt after Amy Ruman. I believe we're going to see a pop for the pass here before long.
While we're on board with Ken, it's worth mentioning that he'd done the brilliant thing of bringing Adam Carolla into the fold, which, of course, if you know that name, he's a very famous podcaster, in fact, one of the top podcasters worldwide, a comedian, of course, and a huge race fan. He has 9 of Paul Newman's 10 race cars. How about that?
Yeah, he is. His collection is pretty incredible. And a very entertaining person to be around. Unfortunately, we're going to miss him here during the race here, and no fault of his own. Again, I think it definitely has happened to the best of us. We saw some talented TA2 drivers yesterday get into real trouble there as well. So, but this is going to heat up to be a battle here before long between these two Chevrolets. One being a Corvette, the other being a Camaro here that we're on board with.
Well, Adam, you know the circumstances better than any. You've driven these sorts of cars. Where would you try at Laguna to make that pass and make it stick?
You know, 11 and the hairpin here. When you get down to the Optima batteries, hairpin. Also, if you get to Mission Foods Turn 5 coming up, that's another spot that you could certainly find. You know, if you get a good run through Turn 4, you could get into, as they're coming through Turn 4 right here, you got to be much closer, obviously, but you get a really good run through here, and then if you can, I like to click maybe a little bit of a short shift to get around, and then you can dive down here in the Mission Foods Turn 5, get up. Maybe he'll take a chance here at Franklin Road Apparel Turn 6.
Would be an appropriate place to do it, yeah. Up the hill to Turn 6, and then it goes up the Rahal straight, and you effectively just lip over the top there of the crest. The wind hits you because it's very windy up there too as you approach the corkscrew, which we're calling the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers corkscrew, quite rightly so, and down it goes over 5 stories and 10 in total when you get down to 10. Ooh, a little bit of...
Yeah, that was live traffic. Getting Amy chose a way around that. She felt like they were letting her by, and that was not the case. They were trying to go wide to let traffic by. And we always say in the drivers' meetings for traffic, when you see the blue flags, hold your line and let the leaders get by, and if you see them under a braking zone, or lift a little bit on the straightaways to let them by because, the parity is so close. But that definitely closed this gap right up, and now Ken is right there on the tailpipes of Amy Ruman.
Really good race we're having here. 7 gone. Out front, it's still Tommy Dreese and Chris Dyson. No change there. And you can see it for yourself now. Dyson doing every which way but get past Dreese so far. But he's trying to put the pressure on. And again, you as the driver, do you want to make the pass or do you want to force Tommy into a mistake?
So what I think a little bit of what Chris is doing here, being around Chris and knowing Chris's racecraft, I think he is comfortable running where he's running. And he sees that Tommy has to really get 10/10ths out of that Lucas Ford Mustang to do what he's doing. So I think Chris is there just letting him, because this is a high tire degradation racetrack for us here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. So I think that Chris is being that smart racer that he is, the champion that he is and he's just given this guy enough trouble that in that Lucas Smaff TV Ford Mustang, just enough trouble that he's got to push a little bit too hard, and he's actually not using like parts of the track that actually save your tire.
I was about to ask you that question because we talk about tire deg every weekend in Trans Am. It's 100 miles, it's a long way, and eventually those tires will not go off. Pirelli make tires that don't go off, but they do get a little looser. It makes it harder to run, maybe do the lap times that you did. So you're saying that tactically Chris is almost trying to force him into using those tires.
Yeah, I mean Pirelli makes a great tire, as you mentioned. They do a really fantastic job giving us a solid tire here on every Trans Am weekend. But here, you know, Pirelli didn't make the pavement, and it's and it's dusty out there, so you're sliding on it a lot, and just think of like a cheese on a cheese grater.
Yep.
And you're just sliding along, and there's no grip, right? There's nothing grabbing, and we're sliding, and that's just ripping the rubber off the tire like a cheese grater, like an eraser, like a pencil eraser, if you will, for those people that still write in this digital world. But yeah, it's very much so, you know, along those lines. And here in Sonoma next week, if you think tire deg is big here at Laguna, wait till we get to Sonoma next week.
Yeah, a lot of dust and wind blown up there, of course, in the wine district of Sonoma, and that, as you say, it gets very gritty up there, and tire deg is an effect. So a multiple race here. We've got this man, Tommy Dreese, leading the way at the moment in the number 8. He's leading TA in XGT. Eric Joyner holding off Bob Mueller for now in XGT. And SGT at the moment being led by Cindy Lux with Chris Evans behind her. So we've got good pockets of racing all the way through. Another lap completed, and still immense pressure on the Lucas number 8 of Tommy Dreese.
Chris Dyson needs DRS. He's within a second, so he could have it. But no, it's a great battle up front here. Just 0.2 of a second separated these two, so throw a blanket over them. And that's exactly the kind of racing that you want to go and take a look at. So great battle. Dyson's getting racing. We got traffic coming up, so this could really play a big role in what's going to go on in these two battles. Like Chris is probably sitting there thinking that this might be the opportune time to get that pass made if one of these lap cars holds up Tommy just even a little bit. But then Tommy's thinking the opposite. If I can get these lap cars, car just like he did a little bit there, I can get a little breathing room.
Yeah, good driving from Tommy as he dives again into that corkscrew at the spike coolers. Big machine spike coolers. Corkscrew down the hill they come in towards Rady Curve, just under the trees there.
Yeah, what a beautiful layout here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better 11 turns in motorsports than what we get here. And we come up here to the final turn here, turn 11, onto the front straightaway with our leader, Tommy Dreese, as he's encountering a little bit more traffic here.
You know, it's interesting. I was talking to Evan Slater yesterday, and he was saying, you know, just learning Laguna. And I said, what's hard? And he said, well, it's getting out of certain corners. Turn 11 is a classic, because if you get it wrong, a nice little move by Tommy to get past one of the other cars in the other groups, and if he can make that stick and Dyson doesn't get through, that could give him a big advantage. But here comes Thwaites now, all over the back of Amy Ruman in the McNichols number 23 Corvette.
Yeah, this is heated up to be a heck of a battle, too. And, I mean, Ken hasn't gone anywhere. And Amy is not laying over, so Amy's up for the fight. No! Contact. And I do not think that was intentional. I don't think that was intentional at all, as you saw Ken immediately put his hands up and apologize as to what happened there. I think, you know, we got a little bit of a note from down at pit road, and that Gary, his crew chief, went over the wall to check on something. He may have a braking issue, and that's why what got him in there and caused him. And that'll happen in any race car, and especially here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's very hard on the brakes. And if you're tucked up behind a car long enough, like you see Dyson, he's not necessarily always pushing there to get to panic Tommy. He's putting his nose out there to get fresh air into the brake ducts, get fresh air into the cooling system, so that he doesn't have that issue. So maybe, and I'm just speculating here, but that I don't believe that was intentional at all by Ken. That was a square hit. He was trying to hit her as square as possible because he knew he had a braking issue. I believe that's what we're looking at.
Well, good news that Amy is still running. You saw her going up the Rahal straight there. Look at this, Dyson all over him at the Andretti curve, the Optima Batteries Andretti curve, the famous turn 2 here at Laguna Seca, and then diving into 3. And Dreesy, if he hasn't felt it, must be feeling that pressure now. 11 laps gone, and he's had that number 20 right there the whole time.
Yeah, I tell you, Chris Dyson into turn 2 is very, very strong. And right here between 4 and 5, obviously, Tommy feels the heat as they get and maneuver around some of the lap traffic. But he's got a heck of a run coming up here to 6. And this is not, the Franklin Road Apparel turn 6 is not usually a passing zone. But
Nicely
Chris
done.
Dyson showed us something different. Great pass on your leader, Tommy Dreesen. Now let's see if Tommy was holding up Chris at all.
Yeah, that was interesting because, like you say, Tommy wouldn't have expected that there and then, would he?
No, I mean, that was a surprise move. That was traffic that kind of got into and rattled Tommy and where he was at in his line and what he could take, and it sacrificed him on the exit of turn 5 there. Chris got a great run out of 5, took full advantage of it, and dove down in on 6. I mean, that's down there in the Franklin Road Apparel turn 6 is not more. That's not, let's just say, as drivers get together and say, yeah, that's your passing opportunistic feeder. You're going to take that chance.
Well, Chris Dyson started the weekend 12 points ahead of Tommy Dreesy. He got the pole position, and of course that helps. He got some more points there, but that's the most important, is to get ahead of Tommy in the race as we go back on board with the Porsche GT3R of Eric Joyner in XGT.
Yeah, this battle is, it's still a little bit of a gap between these, between Eric Joyner and Bob Mueller. Bob has not been able to pull that gap in too close, but you never know here around WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca if we get ourselves underneath the full course caution, that could make a heck of a race out of this. And right there in a peculiar spot is
Cindy
one
Lux.
of, I don't think that's Cindy. I think is that Dirk Lundberger? Or
No,
that,
he's got a different color
Oh, no, that
scheme.
is Cindy. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. That's a shame if she's sitting there dead in the water.
Luckily,
yeah, that is
she's off
Cindy.
the race line.
That is
but,
Cindy.
yeah.
And the Black Rock Coffee Viper there. And sorry to see that. And she's in and it can be kind of a peculiar position because, if someone were to spin to the inside or have some contact there, it's going to get racy into turn 11 as the laps start to wind down.
Well, we're going to take another look at what happened with Ken Thwaites, because I was very interested to how you explain that. We'll see it again. Now you take over.
See, there's plenty of gap here, so it's not like he's overrushing the corner. See right there, it doesn't seem like the car's stopping for the pressure he's putting into it.
Gotcha.
So
Good point.
I don't think that he was intentionally going after Amy's tail. Unfortunately for Amy, I mean, she's having a run of a life right here, and you can see him. You'll see hard brake pressure. He's full brake. See, that's full brake. You can't go any more full brake, as you see on the meter there, and you can see Ken was not happy with the way that turned out. So I feel bad for Amy, horrible, and I know Ken feels the same way because a heck of a race going there, and she's having a really good season of just surviving these races and figuring out this new version of the Pirelli tire. The Pirelli has been a struggle, and there's a good look at Cindy Lux there.
Yeah, and that's why we've got the caution out. Cindy Lux parked basically on the main straight. They're talking to her, her engineer's talking to her, but she is in a precarious position. She's not on the racing line, but you can't just leave a car on the front straight there and not have the caution. So we are under our first caution here in our TA XGT SGT GT race here at Laguna Seca round 4.
We hated breaking the action, everyone does, but I tell you what, that's a great call by David Hoots up there and the gang and Gordy and the group and the Trans Am officials, because it is a peculiar position. Cindy can't get out of the car where it is and get safely out of harm's way, so it's important that they throw this caution, get her out of harm's way, get that car out of the way, and then we can go racing here again real soon.
Yeah, and let me just explain, having seen Laguna Seca as many times as I can. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a short break, and then I'll explain why she's in a precarious position, because if you know Laguna, you'll know why. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more from the action of TA and the rest of the groups after this.
Speed, endurance, desire. For 160 years, Motul has helped engines and drivers go faster, further, and stronger. Tested in the heat of battle, driven with passion, with one aim: to give you superior powertrain protection and performance. Motul.
Welcome back to Laguna Seca, and as you can see, Ken Thwaite's pulling off into the pits, not because he's got a mechanical issue. He's been given a drive-through for that incident with the Corvette, the number 23 of Amy Ruman. So sadly, Ken Thwaite's coming in and out, but fair enough.
Yeah, that's avoidable contact, and that call's going to be made every time, and I'm sure Ken was expecting it. Whether you got a mechanical thing going on or not, he know, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm confident that was intentional. I don't know Ken to drive that way and compete that way, so I know that wasn't the case. And but you know, fair is fair, and there was a position loss or more from that contact, and of course he's going to serve that punishment. He serves it, and he'll get back to business. He's going to put his head down, and there's a lot of laps left of this race, and nothing's over yet. You know, he got to that position battling with Amy awfully quick, so I don't see where he's going to struggle to find himself near that place again in the fight.
Now we'll keep an eye on the safety car, but we're expected to go green next time, and therefore I'm going to be watching a different colour, blue, because I'm going to be watching Tommy Dreese to see if he can do something into that turn 2 Optima Batteries Andretti curve at turn 2, because that is probably one of the keys at a restart here, right?
Yeah, I mean, restarts are king. That's where the easiest passes are made. We saw that Tommy, you know, the horsepower, the torque that he has in that Gentilozzi, you know, Ford Mustang there is really ripping up the straightaway. So on this restart, I'm expecting big things out of that machine here. So ought to be good to watch this fight getting into the Optima Batteries hairpin for sure.
Okay, so coming out of 10 now, one more corner to go. Let's see if the pace car comes in. He does, and right enough, Tommy Dreese right there behind Chris Dyson, who just uses the brakes to get him warmed up, I'm sure, more than anything else, but also hold back Tommy Dreese. It's he who decides to go first, and away they go, past our commentary position.
Yeah, it is the leader's choice on restarts now. It's when the leader goes, that's when the green flag goes. It's not the that was a rule change this morning in our drivers' meeting, and I think it's a very positive change. It's going to, I think, help the restarts out a little bit, keep it from being so bunched up and cause some, you know, yellows can cause yellows, and we don't want to see that. We want to see racing.
Good start by our current champion, Chris Dyson, but a long way to go. I often say this, 52 minutes, it's only 15 and 45. And after a little respite like that, you suddenly look at the clock and go, oh, there's a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, only a third of this race is gone, as we said. I mean, it's early days, and that's why I said, you know, Ken Thwaite isn't panicking. He's right back there in the same shot as his nearest competitor, and Amy. And if he catches that McNichol's Corvette again, I can guarantee he wants to make right by it and make the racing clean and let the whole world know. Definitely not him. And I can promise you that Eric Joyner's not in reverse. So if you're thinking that's what gear he's in, but the speed seems to be right on that Cosworth dash. But this is a beautiful machine there, former factory car that Patrick Long drove, and it's a competition. So great to have it here in the Trans Am series, and really honestly, a car like this is built for WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca, as he's looking to the outside here of the two-time champ, Amy Ruman.
Yep, coming into 10, Ruman closes the door, and as she might. But as you say, yeah, it is a Patrick Long car. I discovered that myself when I opened the door one time and had a look on the side, and there was Long's number and name.
Yeah, and I mean, you also got to remember, too, is Eric's in a fight here with Bob Mueller, and Bob, throughout this yellow, that closed that gap. That 10-second gap that he had to Bob is no longer there. Now, his gap to Bob is only 2.9 seconds, so he's feeling the pressure that he's got to make sure that he stays on this battle and that he doesn't let that gap close behind him. But Eric is crafty little veteran here, our champion from last year, so I don't anticipate that he's going to make a mistake. He's going to hold a pretty wheel here and keep hounding on the two-time champ there of Amy Ruman and that McNichol's Corvette.
Yeah, in qualifying for XGT, Eric Joyner set a new class record of 128.723. So he's been on it all weekend, and he's not afraid to have a good dice with a TA car. And a very experienced Trans Am champion at that.
I'd say our doubleheaders last year at Watkins Glen, you know, our I believe it was the doubleheader weekend or something like that that we had at Watkins Glen last year. That Eric was in the dogfight with us because it was all class racing, and it was a heck of a dogfight. We had a lot of each other because that Porsche finds its strengths down certain areas of the racetrack, and where we can always find our strength with the big V8s. On that Porsche is down the straightaways.
He's trying again through Rainy Curve, but again, the Corvette closes the door. And into 10 they go. Coming up to the last corner here at Laguna 11, the left-hander. Got to get out of this. I've mentioned it before. It's is a place you can make an overtake if there's enough room, and he almost gets it, but not quite.
Yeah, I mean, he would need to make that work on a TA car. He'd have to do a block pass. He'd have to get into the apex before the car ahead and really kind of slow the apex speed down so that you get the straightaway, because the straightaway advantage is just too great with these thunderous V8s that we have inside these Trans Am cars. I mean, you're looking at over 900 horsepower that you're sitting underneath the heel of Ken Thwaites here, who's on the hunt. Look at his head's down. You can see he's got the grip between his teeth, and he is ready to go. Like he's paid his penalty, and he's paid his debt to society here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna, and he's going to make a pass here on Eric Joyner. Maybe take a look into the Mission Foods turn 5. Now, he's got enough squirt that he might be able to take advantage at Franklin Road Apparel, turn 6 here. Let's see if he's able to take advantage. It is so good under the brakes, the Porsche is.
Yeah.
Up here, the Ray Hall straight, with all the torque he may be able to get, but it's going to be tricky.
You can make a move at the top corkscrew on the inside, but then you're in the wrong place, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I mean, it can be done. It's known to be somewhat of a desperation move. We tend to do it a lot in practice for slower traffic, but
yeah.
But and you'll see it. You'll see that blast for the win, right? The famous Zanardi pass.
Yep.
You blast through there so fast that you're not there. You just got to launch it down to the apex on the second one. So
or Casey Stone.
Yeah, or for the motorcycle
two
racing
wheels,
fans. Yeah. But yeah, there's Valentino Rossi, the timeless classics that have gone through that corkscrew. So we did ask in the drivers' meeting if that was going to be frowned upon, and it was. So, so you're going to see Ken Thwaites get a good pass.
That's
here
a much
Joyner.
more, turn one, the little kink is much more obvious than block pass at Andretti, the Optima batteries turn 2. That makes more sense. Masoud's followed him through.
Yeah, Humaid is really doing a great job. Haven't mentioned Humaid at all, and he's doing an awesome job. He is right now looking at being P4 or P5 overall, and P5 in the TA class. So this is a very, very good run for him, and he's right here in the thick of it. This is the battle for podium right in front of Eric Joyner, who we're on board with, and that good boy Bob Coffey Porsche 911 GT3. So, yeah, Humaid with the all-Graham Ford Mustang here. That's out of the Chris Dyson Racing stables. So Scotty and the gang are attending this car. So no doubt that it's poised and ready. But it would be great to see, you know, I want to see any of these cars on the podium. They're all my friends, and I just I love the performance that they're showing right now and the racing that they're giving us. It's very, very entertaining here, lap 18 of 45.
Yeah, and in the case of that light blue and white Humaid Masoud car, he's hardly done any of this season, so he's not rusty, but he's hardly driven, so good to have him back. He was on the podium here last year and at Sonoma, so this is a good weekend for him to get going, and of course he's the sidekick, if you will, to our champion Chris Dyson, teammate 2. Just heard from the pits from Ben that Don McMillan from Texarkana had a brake issue. They brought him in and the pedal went straight to the floor, so you don't want that.
See here, this is going to be getting racy again here. Now, like I said, what happened here last time between these two competitors, I know that Ken, you know, he's going to make sure he's nice and clean here. Looked real slippery there on the exit of the Optima Batteries hairpin here as they come into turn number 3. That's where the river was yesterday that Adam Carolla unfortunately hit and ended his weekend. Come in here. This is a fun turn 5, fast, sweeping corner. Can hold a lot of corner speed. Click up through 2 gears here into the Mission Foods turn 5. He's going to take a little peek. Amy's going to leave the door open. And he's going to get a run up here into the Franklin Road Apparel turn 6, or is he?
That's interesting how she did that. And again, she kind of, well, she doesn't leave it as open this time, but I agree with you. Coming into 5A, it looked as though he had a clear run, but she was banking on the fact that she'd accelerate. She had the line to accelerate early.
You know, she found grip on the outside there, and that's something that put in the memory bank, right? I mean, if someone does get down to you and pops on you on the inside and gets position, your race isn't over there. You can hold the outside line there and get a run. And, you know, Ken's got his mirrors busy. He can't just... I was
about to say, yeah.
He just can't focus forward. He's got Humaid right here behind him, getting ready to make his own party.
Yeah, and I think if Humaid is smart, and same for Joyner right behind him that we're on board with now, he could wait for perhaps Ken to make a lunge that doesn't work and potentially get past both.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, that's being an opportunistic feeder in this series is waiting for that mistake. As Ken again gets in a little bit too hot.
And he's going to lose the spot, and he has done to Humaid and possibly the Porsche of Joyner, and they're side by side as they head towards 3. Ken Thwaites puts the foot down on that 850 horsepower plus
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and win that drag race every time into turn number 4 there, or 3, and we're in 4 right now. And so, yeah, Ken's going to gather himself. He's just got to kind of relax a little bit, get back into his rhythm. Again, we're not even at the halfway point. And if I was on his ear and his radio, that's exactly what I'd be telling him. All right, we are right here, not even at the halfway point. Calm it down, bring yourself back down, get back into that pace. Let this race start coming to you.
A mistake like that by Ken, would that affect the tires in any way?
I know he didn't have a severe lockup, so so he might have got a little dirt on the tires, being out there in the gray. And but again, he was able to put the power down no problem and win the drag race with this good boy Bob Coffee Roasters 911 GT3 of Eric Joyner. So I don't think that was necessarily the case. So they're setting sail now. Those 3 TA cars have found something that Eric has had a hard time to match here lately.
That's the 92 of Chris Evans, racing hard in SGT. In fact, now leading in SGT. Now Cindy Lux has gone out. So that's your leader, number 92, Chris Evans, who will be tickled big because I was looking at his record and he was telling me that he did get a podium. He said, well, there were several DNFs, and I said, hey, race is racing. And he goes, yeah, I'll take it. And that'll be the truth of today, too, because he did well at Thunder Hill, and this is effectively round 2 for the West Coast, too. So he'll be enjoying this one, leading in SGT.
Funny thing about the record books there, Jonathan, they don't ever say who had DNFs. They only say who won. So that's the beautiful part about that is when you hit the record books, you're in there as a winner.
What do they say? The winners write the history.
Yeah, exactly. And so there's no question there. And this is a good look here at the number 31 of Michael LaPaglia, and he's here, and I've seen him. He's been working underneath the tent of Adrian Vlastowski, in the TA2 group, and they've been working right behind us. They're our neighbors there with Three Dimensional Services Group and Peterson Racing. So
nicely prepared car.
Beautiful car, and they're having a ball. I tell you what, this is a really fun group to be neighbors with.
Yeah, I had a chat with him this morning, and this is basically his first SGT race. And so brand new car, never raced at Laguna, first time out. He's an ex-motocrosser and supercrosser. And then, like a lot of motorcycle riders said, you know what, this is pretty tough on my body. He's from Southern California. He's done the Baja a couple of times. And he said to me, yep, having a roof over my head as I get a little older, that's what I needed. And he's now gone from the NASA Series. He did that in 2018 and 19. And now he's here to try Trans Am. And we welcome him aboard in that Ford Mustang. Beautifully prepared, really lovely looking car.
I asked the great Travis Pastrana that once. I said, what made you make that transition? You're not being on bikes anymore. He said, well, when I'd make a mistake on the bike, it hurt for a couple months. You make a mistake in the car, we get out the vacuum, dust it off, and go back out. Oh, look here at the 48 car. This is Mike Weathers here, and he's in pit here in the G-Speed Chevrolet Corvette. That's a beautiful looking machine there, but unfortunately is looking a little under the weather. Jonathan Green.
Oh, nicely done. Yes.
XGT.
Yep. Sadly, I don't know what. It's hard to tell. Tony giving us a good insight as to what Tony Garcia, our pitman, giving us a good insight as to what's going on, but they're not making any big moves, so it must be something mechanical that they can't do anything about.
Right. I mean, I'm so proud of Amy here. She's done such a great job in this position and been under pressure. I mean,
Ken's proud of it too because he's caught up.
Yeah, these are like her championship days of old. Where she was having to battle and fight for tooth and nail for every little spot, and she's back in that battle again, and it's just great to see. And Humaid is all over it. I mean, like, he is chomping at the bit, wanting to pop on this McNichol Chevrolet Corvette of the two-time champ. And Amy is that Corvette is wide. She is making sure that it's staying nice and wide there as they carry some good exit speed onto the front straightaway here. Up over turn 1. That's a fun corner in these cars. Gets nice and light. Got to be brave to keep the power down hard on the brakes for the Optima batteries. Hairpin here to the left.
I love the way you say nice and light. If my car went light over turn 1 at Laguna Seca, I'd probably lose my lunch.
Yeah, I mean, you do watch what you have for lunch here because, it's, you do have plenty of undulations here, Mid-Ohio, Road America, Sonoma, where we're at next week. Plenty of places where you can let lunch come back up into the throat a little bit. But
well, thank you for that graphic illustration, Adam Andretti.
Everybody always wants to know what it's like in the race car. So
okay, no, fair enough.
Just painting the picture.
I love it. Exactly what we wanted. Back with Eric Joyner in the Porsche GT3. He, of course, trying to hold on to his position in XGT, so he doesn't have to challenge too hard. He's not necessarily racing against the cars in front of him in terms of group, but He's a racer like everybody else, and if he can get amongst them, he will. He's fighting with Bob Mueller, who's behind him in 7th position overall and 2nd in XGT. But the real story for me is Ken Thwaites trying to come back as Masood tries to keep putting the pressure on the Corvette of Amy Rumin. This man in the Franklin Road Apparel, Ken Thwaites' car, Chevrolet, is really now back on the scene, having had problems earlier on and going wide at turn 2. He's right there at 11 now, right behind Masood.
Yeah, Masood Humay just has a real issue with trying to get the power down out of 11 there. As you see, Ken Thwaites going to get a heck of a run up over the hill. Oh boy, if he had just positioned himself a little bit differently, I think Ken could have got the pass done on Humay, but Humay, locks the rear. Get into the Optima batteries hairpin here. Not ideal, but that'll kind of heat up the rear tires, and that might be why Humay is struggling to get the power down, as I see Ken laid out a couple 11s coming out of the hairpin.
Yeah, so everybody making mistakes, even Amy Rumin going slightly wide there into the Optima batteries turn 2.
Yeah, this place is so slick and has such little grip that, like I told you before, tire deg is big. And we're at that point. We're just past the halfway point to where we're really starting to see these things slide around a lot. And I tell you what, Amy Rumin, knowing her experience on the previous tire, the way that it was, that was a slip and sliding around tire. So that's going to really fit her style, and I think that's why we're starting to see a little bit of a gap open up.
Let's head down to the pits. Ben Sissel has got Cindy Lux to find out what's happened to her.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm here in the garages with a heartbroken Cindy Lux. I've been with Trans Am since 2015. I can't remember a time that you haven't finished a race. Cindy, what happened?
That's the magical question. I don't know. We were just kind of controlling the race a little bit and coming down the hill, full throttle, 3rd gear. And I mean, when I say a boom, a big bang, and it's something that we haven't felt before. So until the guys dig into it, but it was pretty bad, and it was shaking so bad. So it's so disappointing, but also so disappointing before back-to-back races. So yeah, I think I need a cliff to go jump off right now. I'm so disappointed, but that's racing, and hopefully we'll get it together. But like I said, we have no idea. This is a new one for us.
And if Cindy Lux doesn't know, it's got to be something crazy. Cindy, I'm so sorry. Gentlemen, back to you.
All right, security up at the corkscrew. Do not let Cindy Lux anywhere near.
Yeah, right. No, Cindy. Yeah, no, please, no. We're you've come too far, too long. She's love Cindy Lux. She's we have a special connection. It was because of my brother's drive with Checker for Andretti that she went and got screened and found some early signs that I believe she's a clean bill of health. But I know that she's come and shared that story with me, and we've shared some good hugs and things in the paddock. So it's a shame to see that. But again, Cindy, brighter days are ahead. You got a very talented group there, and you're going to find out what that was. And sometimes the biggest bangs are the simplest fixes.
Well, I was about to say, and she mentioned it, we said it at the top of the program, it's all about next week, because now she is facing that issue of getting to find that problem and getting it fixed and sorted by Wednesday, getting it up to Sonoma and getting sorted.
Right. I mean, there's that's a good part about being on this side of the country, right? There's a lot of motorsport here, so you can certainly find yourself the spare parts possibly that you may need. There are, obviously, everyone knows, some supply chain issues, and racing is not immune to that. So, what a great addition here with the Lamborghini here. The number 73 of Mike Sheehan, and it's I don't believe any relation to Tom Sheehan in TA2, but how cool is it to have a Lamborghini here? And what's funny is it's sponsored by Ferrari's Online LLC.
I know, I saw that. I was like, how can you have a Ferrari sponsored by Lamborghini?
They just cover all the Italians.
There you go.
And me personally, Val, and the last name ends in a vowel. I got to appreciate that. So glad that Mike Sheehan is here. Adds another XGT car to the class, and it's a beautiful, beautiful race car to have out there.
There's a story about that too. He doesn't always run the 73, but he just turned 73, so he thought, you know what? What the heck?
That's a great story. No, I remember Paul Newman doing that at Daytona. I believe the number was 70 or was it 80?
Can't remember.
I remember it was one of the two.
I think it was 70,
75, or 80. It was one of those three, I think. But and someone will definitely correct me online.
And in fact, you can see, look, the sticker's coming loose. Yeah. It's so new.
Yeah. But is that the sticker or the fender coming out from some contact?
Either one.
Yeah, but
he's done a good job. The leader's going through it. He's giving them plenty of berth.
Yeah, a little bit of bodywork damage there on that Lamborghini, as we could see flailing out in the wind, getting to pull out. But maybe got a little bit of a pack in the rear from somebody in one of these intense braking zones. I mean, if you're so close sometimes, and I mean, if you don't roll the corner, you know, at the exact same speed, look at here, lap traffic for Tommy Dreese, who is now, you know, 7 seconds behind Chris Dyson, our leader. And I think Dyson was doing just that. He gave Tommy a big battle there at the beginning and let Tommy really kind of take some of the tire down. And you know, now he's there in kind of salvage mode, as we see that Masood and Thwaites have gotten around Amy Ruman now. We missed that battle there for third, but Humaid Masood is right there in P3, so this could be a CD Racing double podium.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wonder tactically, Chris Dyson's thinking he's just put in a couple of fastest laps. He's got that gap now of, what, 7 seconds? But does he sort of think and look at the lap and think to myself, well, if there's another caution, I can let things cool down. But if I stay at 7 seconds and we stay green, it's Tommy who's got to do the work.
Yeah, I mean, he's running very good lap times. And Ken Thwaites was the fastest one out there on the lap previous. So it'll be anxious to see what they're pulling around this lap. And, you know, again, you got Dyson is out there just handily doing it. He's the only one in the 26s as Dreese comes along the line at 28.7. And so, yeah, he's just kind of putting on a clinic out here. Chris Dyson, another clinic here in 2022 in the Trans Am Series.
So 28 laps gone in our Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Round 4 of the championship, TA, XGT, SGT and GT, and of course the West Coast round 2 for their championship. They've already raced at Thunder Hill, but they're delighted to be here. We've got some new entries like this man coming through here in the Ford Mustang, and good to see.
Yeah, Howard Johnson.
Michael LaPaglia out there.
Yeah, and we got Howard Johnson right behind him here, and this is like almost like a TA2 car, if you will.
Yeah.
Running in the SGT class, so it's kind of neat to see them find the rules for that.
Yep, he's another man from Portland, Oregon. They both have welding sponsors on the front of their cars. Good friends, Chris Evans and Howard Johnston, and they said, you know, they're not really trying to turn up too many trees in trying to win here or anything. They're just getting their heads down, and of course the West Coast is what's important to them. They very rarely have West Coast back-to-back, so this is a kind of a new thing for them to experience, and so I think they're all kind of going about it gingerly. Masood just getting past Johnston there. Yeah,
I told you, it gets to be desperation move, and he's got Ken Thwaites breathing on his neck. I told you if I didn't know what Paul Newman's number was, I'd get hounded on the phone, and I did. You know, so a good friend of mine, Peter Stark, told me 78-79. So I was close but off. Thanks,
we should
Peter.
have called Adam Carolla. He's got him in his garage.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I know. I mean, exactly. But thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. But yeah, 78-79, and those were when he ran his numbers. So 73 for Mike Sheehan is pretty cool.
So down the front straight again and over the crest of turn 1, and Thwaites looking for a way past who made Masood, and Masood.
He's being very defensive, just like
driving.
Amy was earlier, right? You know, making a nice wide car here, and you know, these two are, you know, Ken's going to be under the microscope a little bit because of the earlier contact, and so he's got to make sure that, you know, it stays. He finds out where he needs to find. He needs to get that run on him and be nice and clean and smooth, because I think he's got more pace than Humaid, but it's got to be a good clean pass because, like I said, the Trans Am officials got their eye on that number 7 Franklin Road Apparel Camaro, and Masood has a hard time getting the power down. That's what I'm saying. You got to really time out that when he makes those mistakes, you can really pounce on that.
Adam, how does the car change from a lower fuel level? The tires are going down. I mean, I can see from just these onboard that Masood looks a little looser. Is that normal?
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness that these cars don't have that little bit of a grip when it's full of fuel, right? I mean, we're really blessed that we get to this point we're low, and because they're a handful. You have so much power under your foot, and if you haven't been nice to the rear tire, this is the point. We're 15 laps to go. We're 2/3 point of this race, and this is really when it starts to get. You got to have like an eggshell on that gas pedal.
Okay, is there a pull the pin time of moment for you, or do you just go? Is there a number of laps, or do you just go when the time is right?
You got to be an opportunistic feeder almost out here. You know, you got to just kind of go when the time is right. And
Ken.
Yeah, the Optima Batteries hairpin has really been his Achilles heel this race, and it's caught him out several times. And so, but who knows? Maybe he's just sizing it up to have the big, dramatic last lap pass there for the podium.
Well, he's lost a lot of ground as they go through 4. You can see it for yourself as we're on board with the Franklin Road Apparel Ken Thwaites in the number 7. Really good illustration. I love watching that left-hand side box where you see his hands doing the work, and you can also see the throttle and the brake, and we saw it very, very nicely illustrated, and I think you were spot on with that thing with the Corvette of Amy Ruman, because his foot was flat on the brake.
Yeah, he was definitely not like releasing or doing any kind of modulation. He was buried into the brake pedal there. This is going to be a battle here between Eric Joyner. This is an overall battle for P5. This is an inter-class battle, but an overall battle. And these two, the 2 XGT cars of Eric Joyner and Bob Mueller, are splitting up the last 2 TA runners of Amy Ruman and Simon Gregg. And
outside of Rainey, look at that.
That looks like it's going to stick.
He's got it.
Yeah, to the inside here, turn 10.
Nicely done.
Yeah, very well done. And Amy didn't need to stick up too much of a fight there. And it wasn't for class position. Overall position's important. Doesn't make necessarily for a class win.
Well, Amy Ruman is who we're watching on track, but let's talk to her crew chief. Ben Sissel is down with him right now. Let's go down.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm here with Dave Skinner. She has had a rough race. What's she saying to you on the radio?
Oh, there's been a lot of pushing and shoving and all that, and I think she's, trying to stay ahead of all those guys. She's kind of used up the rear tires a little bit. She's complaining that the car's a little loose in the back end, and it's evident by the lap time. So hopefully she'll just hang on for the end of the race. We've got a good solid 5th right now, and hopefully we'll move up. You never know what'll happen up front. So
Amy Ruman is as tough as McNichols steel. She's going to be just fine. Back to you, gentlemen.
Nice segue, beautifully done. We got the McNichols logo there, and it's a tried and tested both color and name and number for the 23. She's been a Trans Am champion in the past, and I really do think that this year she's got that bit between the teeth. She came out of Charlotte and Road Atlanta, looking at the championship points, and thought, you know what, I'm in a run here. I can compete here.
Yeah, I mean she's in a great position. She's just putting in solid finishes, and like I said, that's Amy Ruman. She puts in the solid finishes, doesn't tear up equipment, brings race cars home. When you have a mechanical, wasn't anything she did. You got to figure out what the issue was. So it's good to see that some of that is coming to fruition. But I know she still wants to find more speed. There's still a bit of that speed she's missing, even with this Pirelli tire. So I know Dave and her dad, who engineers the car, Bob, they're working really, really hard to make that happen, and to get this McNichols Chevrolet Corvette with Amy Ruman back, really fighting for those top podium spots like she's used to doing.
Yep, and you're not missing anything at the front. Chris Dyson increasing that lead now to 11.4 seconds over Tommy Dreese. So Dyson is in the mood, as we predicted. Having been stolen from a clear victory last year, he is determined to make this stick. Meanwhile, Tommy Dreese is calling his team and saying, somebody create a caution, please.
Right. Yeah, he's desperate for one as well. And watching Ken Thwaites here close the gap again on Humaid Massoud. This has been one of the better battles all day long.
Yeah.
And I think they just went around maybe and lapped the 59 there of Simon Gregg, who has the most TA starts in history. I think 200-plus starts.
That's incredible.
That is incredible. That's a great career for Simon. A lot to be proud of there, and so happy to have Simon back here. This is his first race of the season in the Trans Am series, and it's great to see him back in the Peter Gregg Foundation colors, and it's with Claudio Burton and Burton Racing, and it gives you that warm fuzzies inside. So glad that he's here, Simon, and holding a pretty wheel out there, and looking at Humaid here. This fight for the last podium spot is gonna just get vicious right here down to the end.
Yep, and we'll be talking more about the Peter Gregg Foundation tomorrow. That putting money into the youngsters, which is a great opportunity to win over $20,000. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. Adam Andretti will be, of course, racing in TA2. But we're 33 laps into this 45-lap race. 25 minutes to go, settling down. Chris Dyson and Dreese going at it. A chance for a Dyson Massoud, the teammates on the podium at the moment. Ken Thwaites, though, putting pressure on in 4th place. Leading XGT Bob Mueller and Eric Joyner, but Joyner ahead overall in 5th place with Mueller down in 7th place. Hats off, though, to Bob. He only arrived this morning. He came to do SVRA, and they throw him in that Porsche, and away he goes, and he's currently in 7th position. SGT led by Chris Evans. He's in the West Coast Challenger, the number 92, and he's got Michael LaPaglia, also of California. Excuse me, Chris Evans, of course, from Oregon, but LaPaglia from California. But that's who's second, and third is Dirk Lugerberger in his first run back this year, and good to have him back on board. He's in Lux's team.
Yeah, Dirk is flying the colors for Lux Performance Group, and that'll help ease the wounds a little bit of Cindy Lux and the gang there. And yeah, it's a family operation. They do great work, awesome performance shop, and just a fun group of people to be around. And but yeah, it's a shame to see what happened to her earlier. But Dirk's doing a great job flying the colors on board there with Eric Joyner in that 911, that good boy Bob Coffee Roasters 911 GT3. And then we look here as the 32 car of Howard Johnson in the SGT. He's running 5th class. Doing a nice job there, holding a pretty wheel in front of the 51. And that is of Don McMillan. I believe that's a fight for position right here, these two.
Yeah, Don McMillan's got back out, so whatever the problem was, they've sorted it. He had a little brake issue, but yep, Chris Evans leading SGT.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good victory. He's going to really enjoy being able to pull home that victory, and it always feels good staying on top part of the rostrum at the end of the day on race day. So it gives you only got one more week, and you get right through Sonoma and see what that brings us. But yeah, this I believe that battle's over and done with, and Howard Johnson setting sail there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the 92.
That's Chris Evans. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, that's Chris Evans.
Yep.
He was lapping the car of Don McMillan.
Yeah. And I think Don's taking it careful because obviously he's had that issue and they've got him back out there and it seems to be rectified.
Right.
But I would have thought he's taking it rather gingerly.
Yeah, he's multiple laps down, so that makes complete sense to Chris Evans. So, yep, just making sure he gets the car home and nurses it home, and that's smart work.
Let's talk about this last sector of a TA race. We've mentioned the fuel, we've mentioned the tyres. That is fairly obvious. But what about strategically? Do you just slow down? I always say that when you start to slow down, you take your mind away a little bit, and that could sometimes create mistakes that you don't need. Whereas if you stay in the zone, you're in the zone.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see, I think Chris has taken about a second off his pace, so he's probably, just short shifting, braking a little bit earlier, definitely taking a little bit easier with traffic, and, driving like a true crafty veteran, because even a second slower a lap is still a second faster than his nearest competitor. So there's really no reason for him to push to be in the 26s anymore. He can still pull a gap by running the 27s that he's smart around traffic. Great to see Chris Evans do a real good job letting the TA car come around, made sure he was very obvious, very early.
Yep.
And that's what you want out of any kind of lap traffic, is to make sure you're obvious early or just hold your line. Those are the two options you have. But darting right in front of the faster car and making it unpredictable is certainly not the best case scenario. You want to be nice and predictable, as we saw Chris Evans put on a perfect display with the faster TA car coming around his SGT Mustang.
Well, if you've been watching Trans Am for the past few years, you'll be well aware of the sight of this Altwell number 20 of Chris Dyson doing just this. He's looking very comfortable. I spoke to him after Friday's practice, and in fact, Tommy Dreesy was just a smidgen quicker. And I spoke to him, and I said, "Well, what do you think? Competition's going to be tough." And he went out on clean, on new rubber, and I wasn't expecting anything. We'll be fine in qualifying. And then after qualifying, he said the opposite. It was 0.006 of a second between him, and he suddenly went, "Okay, I got that wrong. Dreesy's on it."
Well, yeah, and Tommy gave him all he could handle for the first 10 laps of this race, but then. We'll find out from Tommy if there's anything like that ailed the car or came up and ailed the car for any reason, and so that's something that we could definitely find out post race. Because his handling certainly went away, his lap times went away, and he's been consistently right now in the 29s and 29.5s and been able to pull those off. But you got Humaid who's doing 28 flats. Right behind him, and you got Ken Twait still in the 28s as well. So I don't know if there's anything that's affected his pace, but we'll only find out that after the race, because right now I'm just doing the business and getting through turn 4 there. And, getting through turn 3, excuse me, into turn 4.
Still this battle goes on, and as you quite rightly point out, this is the battle for the race at the moment that we've had that's been ongoing for most of the race between Ken Thwaites and this man Masood. Whoa, very close again.
Yeah, it's not real predictable right there, and Humaid is not making it easy for Ken to be able to predict which way he's going to go. And when you're racing for position, this isn't like a lap car. This is what you have to deal with. You have to deal with, that's a strategy. I've watched some of the best in the business. Tony Stewart was a magician at putting his car in places and doing things that just made you guess, like, what the heck are you doing if you caught him? Because there's nothing illegal about it. It's just, it keeps the person guessing behind. So I think we're seeing a little bit of that cat and mouse game going here between these two competitors.
Yeah, and Ken's got the bit between his teeth because he had that tiny infraction of a wing height infringement, because he would have started third and that would have put him in a completely different race. Instead, he had to start at the back of TA. He had that problem when he went wide at Andretti at the Optima Batteries turn 2, and then he's been working ever since. So to get back on the podium would be a satisfactory weekend for Ken.
Yeah, it definitely would. The Optima Batteries hairpin has really been his trouble spot today, and it's sucked him in a few times with the competitors, and he gets a great run out of 11 there. That's a really difficult corner to get the run that he gets, and he gets this phenomenal run down the straightaway. He uses full advantage of the horsepower of that Chevrolet Camaro, and he comes down here in the braking zone and gets a really good run down there into Optima Batteries hairpin, gets a drive off of the hairpin here.
That was much smoother than
much
he had
better.
previous.
Yeah, no, he needs that run. He needs that run between turns 4 and the Mission Foods turn 5.
Okay.
And then he could get underneath him, complete the pass by Franklin Road Apparel turn 6, and get a clean run up to the Big Machine Vodka Spike Cooler Corkscrew.
Bounced over the
There it
curbs a
is.
little bit. Could this be
Just-
it? Oh! They touched! Big time! And through goes Ken Thwaites for damage to the car. Wow, they're side by side!
Oh, and he got doored, yeah, and Masood just got into the door there, and Ken's off into the gravel. And I tell you, the gravel here at Laguna Seca is not forgiving. There's a really good chance that we may be stuck there in the Mission Foods turn 5 exit.
Adam, I know you're not David Hoots, and I don't want you to be, but what's your call on that?
That's a tough call. There was some. That was some hard racing. I think Humaid needed to give a little bit more room on the exit there to Ken, so they could race side by side down there into the Franklin Road Apparel turn 6 and see what came out through there up the hill. But I think Ken's stuck in that kitty litter. There's nowhere you could go when you're in that litter. You're absolutely jammed and they're stuck, and that's just a real shame for Ken Thwaites there. And he got a good run out of turn 5 or out of turn 4 and was going forward into turn 5. And Humaid was not expecting him to be on the right-hand side there, and came across, felt the contact, and gave the room, and then came out on the outside, and that was not a positive thing for Ken Thwaites as Masood came over and gave a little bit of a door shove, and Ken's in the litter, and Humaid is there in P3.
I wonder if there's any damage to Masood cars, because that's going to be his worry, and likewise Chris Dyson. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, here we go. You see the little bit of contact there in between 4 and 5. As we come through here, you can see Masood didn't really make it to the apex, and Ken was using up all the track there, and he was even in the gray at that point. I think there needed to be just a little bit more give and take there from the inside car, and just they could have gone through there, I believe, side by side, and found some good racing.
That incident began here. Watch.
Yep, he gets on the curb there, gets too much of the curb, gets a good run. Now Ken might have been well served to stay to the left there and keep the run going. As we sit in the cheap seats, it's easy to say that. But yeah, he was way up in the gray. Like, he definitely gave Humaid lots of room to the inside. And was way up in the gray, and kind of needed that little bit more forgiveness on the other side.
Well, we're under caution as we expected here at the WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway, and TA has thrown up once again some great action, but Chris Dyson has done all the hard work only to find himself under caution, and Tracy's dreams have come true.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be. This is what we've been talking about too, and this is when we would really like to see lap traffic out of the way. and be able to see the fight for the win go down. Because there's right now, we'll count how many lap cars there are in between. Chris Dyson and Tommy Dreese, but I imagine it's not going to be right on Chris's bumper.
Well, let's head down to the pits. Ben Sissel has got the latest from that Franklin Road Apparel team where sadly, they've been stuck in the gravel.
I'm with Gary Seelix, crew chief of Franklin Road Apparel. Gary, you were watching on your phone. What happened? From your point of view, what do you think happened?
We've been having trouble all day with the 21 car blocking and got into us at the start, and it just continued the whole day. And then few laps ago, Ken was making a pass on him, almost got it done, and the 21 got into us and kind of dumped us into the sand trap. Now we're stuck. We'll get it. The car was really fast today. We'll get it pulled out, go to the next one, and get him at Sears Point.
Nice. Yeah, we're at Sonoma for the Mission Foods Sonoma Speed Tour next weekend. You got a lot of work to do, Gary. Back to you, gentlemen.
And you can tell that Gary Seelix has been around, still calling it Sears Point. But again, as we look at it more and more, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But you can hear it's definitely partisan when it's your guy that's in the gravel.
Yeah, no, it's that's a tough one. It's a tough race all around for Ken. There was a lot of drama, and he drove such a valiant effort all day long and put in some great drives and great laps out there. Was turning good lap times here at the end, and when it's really tough and slick, and that's a shame. I would have loved to have seen that race carry out to the very end, because I think we could have seen something quite special.
Well, they're pushing Ken back on track because I think he can get up going under his own power. And
that'd be great, yeah, to see him at least finish and get the points.
Yeah, he is up and running. So no real damage then, or heavy damage to that Chevrolet?
No, he just got doored and off the track. So that's the biggest thing was losing the laps and losing the time. And now get a little bit of dust on the track, a little bit of gravel.
If I was a driver, I would hate to see that shot.
Yeah, you're getting that, and those can offer a puncture too. So hopefully, that their drivers are made aware, and you see that there's 2 lap cars in between the leaders, and we'd love to see that change and see us get.
So what is the rule? It's up to Hoots to decide.
Yeah, that's up to.
It's a bit like the Formula One conundrum.
Yeah, it's up to the powers that be to make the decision to change that format up, but. We could have, the top 3 right there next to each other and just a little bit of organization.
Well, let's hear from the man who is running away with it at the moment, Chris Dyson's team, and Ben Sissel is down with them.
Gentlemen, we got to be quick because we're about to go green, but I'm with Vince Wood, the crew chief. What did you hear from Masood in that?
He just said that it had been a good battle and that they'd been side by side a couple times. I don't know if he actually touched him or not. He's not sure if he did or not as well, so we'll see after the race what happened with the camera.
Now, what are you hearing from Chris Dyson? Dyson's doing really well.
Yeah, Dyson's been doing a great job. Chris has been doing an awesome job. He got by Tommy and then got a good rhythm going, and it's been really good from there. He did a great job and kept the rears under him, so the car's still awesome.
I got to interrupt because we're about to go green, guys. Here it comes.
Here we go, thanks Ben. Away we go then, and already Dreese's past the other group car of Dirk Leuenberger, and now in pursuit of Chris Dyson as they head down to the Ultimate Batteries turn 2. And he's not close enough yet. Dyson got away well, and Dreese's got it all to do now with the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, let's see what can happen here. They were running almost identical lap times before this caution, and still a little bit up on what Masood's pace could be, so I don't see Hamid dipping into this battle, but again, it's about the same spread we see between these cars that we had on the restart. So that's the difference there. That was the difference maker. But yeah, this is hopefully turn out to be a good 3-lap battle here for us at the end of the races. Eric Joyner's right there too in the XGT class. You see Amy Ruman dive in.
Yeah, Amy Ruman making a big move there. Also looking to get in on the action. Bob Mueller in the number 28 there. All trying to get into position where they can battle for group position. And they don't want to be held back by a different group, that's for sure. There's McMillan, got back out in the 51 Corvette.
Yeah, and he's able to still salvage, P4 and SGT, and that's a great job. That's why you put in the fight to get out there and make sure that you can stay out there and complete these laps. No different than Then we saw Ken Twaits, go out there. He's going to be 6th in class, 10th overall, but that's out there, and he's getting those valuable points.
And there you see that 35 of Dirk Leubenberger coming into turn 10. Of course, with, as you represented, representing the Cindy Lutz Performance Group. Sadly, Cindy not making the finish. She heard a big bang. There he is. Took a big wide move there at 11, but it'll work.
You're going to see, I think we're going to see a battle for second place start to heat up here between Tommy Dreese and Humaid Massoud. And this could get really, really heated because, Humaid wants to deliver a CD Racing 1-2, no doubt. Am too, it's a social media network that you own your data, so pretty cool little deal there. But nonetheless, that's what we're looking at here is those two could collect themselves into a battle that brings Amy Ruman and Simon Gregg into the mix.
Let's head down to Ben Sissel once again in the pits.
So, Ken, I'm with Ken here at Franklin Road Apparel. Ken, you came in a little bit banged up. What happened out there, buddy?
Well, Humaid and I were having a pretty good battle there, back and forth. And, I could see that his tires were going off. He kept backing up to me, and I got to him. And, I had to move. We only had 8 laps to go, right? So I had to do something, and I moved to the outside. But, he doesn't give you any room to survive. He moves over on you, tore everything up. And I'm still on the outside going around 5, and then he just, bam, punts me right off out in the gravel. You got to give a guy room a little bit.
Well, guys, that's unfortunate. Ken Twaits, I'm sorry, buddy. Back to you, gentlemen.
Well, and that is motor racing. 2 versions of the same incident. One from one team and the other from the other. But I think I'll take both on board.
Yeah, I mean, there was certainly contact. I mean, you can see the 7 car of Twaits move pretty violently. So there was certainly contact. And I'm not going to beat the dead horse too bad. I would have just liked to have seen Humaid has driven such a great race. I would have definitely liked to have seen Humaid just give that extra racing room. And they could have taken that battle into the Franklin Road Apparel turn 6, and we could have been just really enjoying that battle as fans here, and instead of watching that Franklin Road Apparel Camaro sit in the pits. The ECR motor was performing real well. You could see it as they were getting on the straightaway there, and Gary had a good setup underneath the thing, and they had a really good race going. So I feel Ken's pain, been there, done that, and got the T-shirt. So he'll move on again to Sonoma. They'll put the work in, and they'll get that thing. It'll be ready. It'll be like new.
How about this? Eric Joyner currently in what? Hang on a minute. Where's Tommy Dreese disappeared to? I'm looking at Tommy Dreese in 5th place here because Joyner's up in 3rd in XGT's class. So something's happened here for Tommy Dreese.
Yeah, we've got ourselves a little bit of a deal here with Tommy. He was way off the pace, a 138.5 the last lap. So he's either having a mechanical and kind of what I was suspect of before, why he kind of dropped so far off pace. But that puts it into a CD Racing 1-2 with Chris Dyson, Humaid Massoud, and there's Dreese under power, but Amy Ruman, our 2-time champion, that Nichols Corvette home. She's got to hold off Tommy Dreese for just another lap because we get the white flag out here. Jonathan Green, we're cycling the last lap here at WeatherTech Raceway.
This is incredible. Final lap then, and amazingly, what a turnaround. Amy Ruman, as you quite rightly point out, has a chance of a podium here. Tommy Dreese will try to change that, but no questioning this though, because Chris Dyson is on his way to victory, and it has been a really purple patch from, well, what was Charlotte in the wall after his tyre blew, but then Road Atlanta was immaculate for Chris Dyson. He comes back to Laguna Seca for this doubleheader, looking to keep clean as he comes down the big machine, vodka spike coolers corkscrew one more time and headed towards victory. But this is typical Chris Dyson.
Put on a clinic today, I mean, 100%, and he is loving life right now in this championship, and it couldn't happen for a nicer guy. They put in the work. Scotty and the gang down there, they put it. Oh, Tommy spins up at the top of the corkscrew, and he's doing a little baja coming down to keep the position on Simon Gregg. As you see, Dyson coming to the checkered flag and takes the win.
Dyson wins in the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. Back-to-back victories for him, and the team delighted. But who's going to take second? We expect Masood to come across the line. Sadly, Dreesy's in trouble, and Amy Ruman's on her way for a podium. She does hold off, and Amy Ruman in the 23 McNichols Corvette does take the podium, and that is massive for her championship. Starting the weekend in third, and despite all the issues that she was dealing with, battle after battle, pushing and shoving, as her team manager or team crew chief said, she managed to keep through, but that's a typical Amy Ruman run.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, she holds the wheel in a nice way, takes care of her stuff, brings it home, and she's reaping the benefits right now. As we see right here, this is Mike Sheehan here in the Lamborghini. They're from Canada, I believe, and so shame to see them end their race in that way. That's not how you want to finish off your race here. But Trans Am, I mean, is not without its drama, and we have some drama, right? We got these two teammates right there going to take the top part of the podium. I doubt we're going to see a bigger smile on Chris Dyson's face than what we'll see here today all season long.
No, because he didn't make the start, and then he had the work to do to try and get past Dreesy. He bided his time. He got the caution. Then there was another caution that brought Dreesy back into it. Well, Dyson does what Dyson does best, which is to stay cool under pressure, and he has been excellent stuff. And likewise in XGT, Eric Joyner doing a brilliant job of not only finishing third overall, but winning in XGT. But that puts Amy Ruman on the podium in TA. Bob Mueller finishes the race in sixth place. Not bad for a guy who just came here this morning. And SGT won by Chris Evans ahead of Michael LaPaglia.
And we still don't know, I mean, if this is going to be the final finishing position, because of the contact between the 21 and the 7, and it's up to the officials to find out if that was avoidable or not, and who'd be at fault, and so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see if this does maintain to be a CD Racing 1-2. It'd be a great story, but it's always up to the officials on how they come to that kind of conclusion. So that you never know what happens, because if that were to happen, then that puts Amy Ruman up into a P2, and it would bring possibly Dreesy into a podium position. So it would, again, change the structure of the championship and the finishing order.
Yeah, that could be massive for Tommy in the comeback at the end of the season.
It's never without the drama here in Trans Am there at
I know.
Johnson Green.
I love it.
Eric Joyner, the hands-down winner of XGT today, third place overall. What a cool accomplishment for XGT. What a cool accomplishment for Eric Joyner. I mean, overall, yeah, to do an overall P3 amongst the Hornet's nest of TA cars. What an awesome job. And again, you want to see one of the biggest smiles on the planet, you'll see it coming out of that number 10 Porsche here soon enough.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, Dyson gets the straps undone, and we'll see that smile from the man himself. And he got Motul Pole Award yesterday with a lap record, I may add. Smashed the lap record, which he held at 24.5 and took it down to 23.7, so pretty impressive. And now he's followed it up with this, a victory for the Altwell team.
Classic Dyson colors on the helmet, and always paying homage to the family history that they've developed inside and made in this sport, and a happy crew there. They deserve it. They put in a heck of a deal, a heck of a race and weekend, and to be stealing the top two spots of the podium for now is good times.
Well, in a moment that helmet will come off, and Ben Sissel, I know, is already there and ready. He'll be getting the interview, and we'll hear from our top men. But there he is. That smile says it all.
Yeah, he's a happy boy, isn't he, Chris Dyson? And I tell you, I've seen the focus in his eyes all weekend long. He's been, every time I've seen him about 3 times this weekend. And we got Ben Sissel right now, so put him down there, Jonathan.
Okay, we got the winner. He's taken his helmet off. He's got the hat on. Let's go to Ben Sissel.
We finally won one out here. Thank you, gentlemen. I'm here with our winner, Chris Dyson. What an exciting race. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca never disappoints. How's it feel?
I'll tell you what, this place has sure disappointed me in the past, and today was a great day. The races here are always exciting. They're never drama-free, and you never forget this place. And I'm going to tell you what, we finally got one on the board here. I couldn't be happier for the whole team. To have the Altwell car here and the Allgram car there, 1-2, just absolutely fantastic. I'm so proud of the guys. And the car they gave me was just sensational today. Tommy kept me honest, was pushing me all weekend. I was determined to get a win today, and I'm really thrilled and blessed that we're coming out of here. Thank God for that.
Now, wait, hold on. How about this dude? You guys have some history here together. 1-2. How's it feel?
Feels great. Feels really good. Yeah, it was tough, but feels great now. Yeah, excellent. Can't believe it. It's a good It's amazing.
Now, you two and Dyson Racing, you guys have some history here at Laguna Seca. Explain that.
Well, we got some great history. I mean, Hamid's been with me. He's been one of my great friends. He's been driving with me since 2011, and he played a really important role in helping us clinch the 2011 ALMS championship out here. And he's always quick here, and he proved it today that when he's here and he's running, got it all together. He's right. He's formidable, and here we are. We're on the top 2 steps of the podium. Awesome day for the team.
Nice. Congratulations, gentlemen. Let's find Eric Joyner, 3rd place overall, 1st place in XGT. Joyner, your mom is here. You've got all your fans here. How's it feel?
Oh my gosh, it was a heck of a race. There was a lot of stuff that was interesting. We had a really good car. TJ, the guys, set me up with a great car today. Thank you and kudos to them. Good Boy Bob Coffee, Tool. We brought on Mobile One this year, and of course Pirelli, Trans Am. Everyone, thank you. It was fantastic.
Now, I don't know how we did it, but again, you come in unscathed in this crazy group. And here's your mom, Catherine. Let's talk to her. Mom, how does that feel?
It feels great. I always knew he could do it. He took after his father, and he was a great human being and a wonderful competitor. And I'm proud of everything he has done.
Oh,
How cool is that, Eric?
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ben. Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's awesome.
It's going to be a great podium celebration here, guys. I got tears in my eyes. I'm going to send it back to you.
Oh, Ben Sicily, you old softy. And I'll tell you what, Mother's Day's in a couple of weekends. That one's for you, Mom.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And, I mean, you know Eric for 5 minutes and you realize he's got great parents because just a great human being he is.
So let's take a look at the final results then. Provisionally, of course, but Chris Dyson with the win for the Altwell TA Championship. And Humaid Masood taking second, so a 1-2 for that team. Eric Joyner, brilliantly for the Good Boy Bob Coffee Roasters, is 3rd in that Porsche. Amy Ruman, more importantly, is 3rd in TA and 4th overall. Tommy Dreesy comes in 5th. Bob Mueller, what a day for him in the Octavia Tequila car in 6th place. Simon Gregg, 7th, back in the number 59 for Burton Racing. Chris Evans, a really good result for him from the man from Oregon. And then Michael LaPaglia from California in 9th place. And Dirk Leuenberger in 10th for the Lux Performance Group in SGT. Further down also for SGT, Don McMillan with problems, but manages to finish. Howard Johnston in 12th. Mike Sheehan. Ken Thwaites is given 14th position. Mike Weathers and Cindy Lutz did not finish the race. So, what a draw of breath we take after that was a sensational run of TA action. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of what we just witnessed. It wasn't the start that Chris Dyson wanted because away went the number 8. The Lucas Oil man doing really good. Ken Thwaites getting in trouble. Masood spinning round and amazingly he got second. Likewise, the battle between Dreesy and Dyson hotted up nicely. Dyson bided his time, mind. Didn't take too many risks. Ken Thwaites, on the other hand, was bit between his teeth. He had to start at the back. Bangs into the back of Amy Ruman. Turns her around but keeps going, and I don't think that was any real malice there by him. Then the battle heated up. They used the back guys and the other group guys to deal with Dreesy to get the lead. And Ken Thwaites also in the wars again, but coming together finally with Humaid Masood, and into the gravel he goes. But no such problems for the Altwell number 20 of Chris Dyson. The champion continues to march on here at Laguna.
Check.
So great stuff. Eric Joyner, that smile says it all. And Humaid Masood, his first return to racing, and what a way to do it. Let's take a look at some of the action from the group races and, of course, in XGT and SGT. Action all the way. Cindy Lutz back in the National Championship. Bob Mueller in the 28 coming in early on. Sadly, Cindy Lutz heard the bang. She pulled over quite rightly. They've got to start thinking about next week. That brought out a caution, and the action was thick and fast because Joyner was really having a good day out there, pushing hard on the TA of Amy Ruman, who would eventually make the podium in TA, amazingly enough. Plenty of action, though. Chris Evans going so well in SGT in his first national run, and of course round 2 of the West Championship.
Yeah, GT class, great job. I mean, Eric Joyner, 3rd overall. Bob Mueller really put on a good show coming in. to fight with these group and, to be 6th overall. Pretty fantastic.
And our Chill Out Systems, Chill Out, Keep Cool move of the race has to be, of course, Eric Joyner. What a tenacious run that was by the all-smiling number 10. He certainly had brewed the coffee nicely because really he just kept cool under immense pressure. Look at this, an outside move on Amy Ruman. Not many people can pull that off at Rainey, but Eric Joyner can, and that's why he's our Chill Out, Keep Cool move of the race.
That was a cool pass. On the outside of Rainey, that's cool stuff. Watch my cousin Michael pull that off a few times in IndyCar. This was always the ending event for IndyCar back in those days in the early 90s, and I got great memories of that. So Eric put a nice memory in me.
Laguna Seca.
Let's head down to the podium with Ben Sissel.
With the Super GT National Series. So in second place, Super GT, the number 51. I can't wait to hear what happened here. Let's hear for Don McMillan. Come on, let's hear it for Don McMillan. Where is he? Where is Don?
Oh, I think he stopped on last. I heard he might have been off.
All right. So in first place, that beautiful yellow Viper Aquastar. Give it up. Let's get loud. Dirk Leuenberger.
Thank you very much. Great stuff.
Dirk, tell us about that race out there.
Well, it was a great race. My teammate had a mechanical, and then I lost my clutch halfway through the race, and I just kept grinding it out. And it was just trying to stay out of the way and finish, and it was a great weather day. And thanks all the fans for coming out. Really appreciate it. Great to see everybody today.
Nice. All right, Dirk, you know what you're doing up here. Hold up that Crystal Sensation trophy. Crowd, do you know what you're doing? Your job is to get loud for Dirk Leuenberger. Hold it up, Dirk. Let's go, crowd. Dirk Leuenberger, that beautiful yellow Dodge Viper. One more time. Hold it up loud and proud. There we go. Dirk Leuenberger, Aquastar, Smart Seafood. Nice job. Congratulations.
Hey, Dirk, I'll trade you.
Now, SGT West. This looks like it's going to be...
You want to give the rest of them out?
Yeah, come on up this way, though. This is going to be a heated, contentious championship the whole time. And for that, we're going to bring up Miles and Esther from Crystal Sensations up here. Miles and Esther through the stairs to present to us the prettiest, coolest trophies in motorsports, Crystal Sensation trophies. Let's hear from Miles and Esther from Crystal Sensation Trophies. They always provide good stuff. And in third place, in that beautiful number 32, where's Howard Johnston? Howard Johnston, where are you at? And crowd, where are you at? Howard Johnston, SGT, where's he at? And then in the number 31 right here, red, white, and blue, that beautiful Ford Mustang, Michael LaPaglia. Where's Michael? Let's hear it from Michael. He's here. That's first job. Come on up here, Michael. All right, Miles. Miles, step across to present that great trophy. Second place is. And in first place, Super GT West Coast. First place, Super GT overall. Unbelievable. Let's hear it. Chris Evans. Come on up here, Chris. That was fun to watch.
Is this the second place spot? Right here?
No, this one. 213. Chris Evans builds his cars. Unbelievable. Oh, wait, hold on. Howard Johnston, third place. Come on up here, Howard Johnston. Get loud for Howard Johnston, third place. Come on up here. In first place, SGT West. First place, SGT overall, Chris Evans. The founder of Gas also, which is really cool. So, Howard, we were talking earlier today. That looked like a lot of fun. How'd you feel out there?
It was great. It was great. I really felt like a rookie. I hope some of you guys aren't cursing me right now, but I did the best I could to stay away from you.
Nice. Howard Johnson, third place. LaPaglia, you come from Supercross, AMA, the Baja 1000, but now you've got solid ground under you. How did it feel out there?
I didn't feel too solid all the time, but for the most part, we had a good race. It was hectic there a couple times after the caution, but really proud of my whole small family team we have here to come out and compete and get on the podium. It's great. Yeah, I would just like to thank the guys from Pampini's Garage, Robert and Richard, Corbin Johnson for helping us get the car ready, my family, of course, my wife, my kids are here, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my mom, and of course, I couldn't do this all without my dad. So, Dad, thanks for everything, and appreciate all your help.
Nice. I love it, Michael LaPaglia. And Chris Evans, man, that was quite a show out there you put on. First, tell us about your cars that you're building, and then tell us about your race.
Well, we probably built about 60 race cars overall, most of them NASCAR-style stock car stuff, and we decided to come to Trans Am from the gas series. Raced Texas last year, worked with Aaron Colwell a little bit over the winter, and he kind of spec'd out some stuff for us and built a couple of new cars, one for Howard, one for myself, and came out Thunder Hill a couple of weekends ago, and here we are today.
Nice. Now tell us about that race out there.
I know Ernie Becker told me that the track's going to change. It's the grip level. You know, we burn off all the fuel, that kind of thing, and he wasn't kidding. It really changed. So I don't know how we did it. About 2/3 of the way through the race, I got a deal from my crew chief saying, Jeff Jefferson, that we were running the fastest lap we'd ran all day. It sure didn't feel like it. I thought I was all over the place and slow, but this should just show you, smooth in, smooth out, and the time shrinks.
Nice. I love it. All right, let's hear it. Howard Johnston, Michael LaPaglia. Hold those Crystal Sensation trophies up high. Beautiful new trophies. And Chris Evans, first overall. Really good stuff from the Super GT. Come on, crowd, get loud and proud. Super GT at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Now we go to the Pirelli hats, and we've heard from a lot of drivers of the changing conditions out there as they put on their Pirelli hats. This track is always unpredictable. All right, let's get loud this time. West Coast Super GT, Howard Johnston, Michael LaPaglia, Chris Evans. I like you guys. That is good. Keep that up. Laguna Seca crowd rocking it. Oh, getting some champagne. Don't go too far, Esther.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. Yeah, go ahead. Do whatever you need to do. Here we go. Let's hear it. A little champagne celebration. Super GT here. WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. I love it. Hey, crowd. I like you guys. It's a good crowd. Hey, well, hold on now. Let's see. Who wants to see what kind of arm Chris Evans has? Throw that thing out there, Chris. Throw that out there. Who wants it? Oh, it's a boomerang. Oh, nice. That's pretty good, pretty good. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. Now, Extreme GT. XGT. In third place, wearing the number 73 because he is 73 years old. Let's hear it in that beautiful Lamborghini, Mike Sheehan. I know you guys can get louder than that. I mean, look at the back of his race suit. Hold on. Show them the back of your Skunk Works race suit. Look at that. How cool is that? Right over here, Mike. In second place, I got to give a little backstory on this as Miles gives out that Crystal Sensation trophy. Just a couple hours ago, This car is going through tech. I guess he found out this morning he could race an Extreme GT with Trans Am, and he said, why not? Started from the back. Unbelievable show. Let's hear it. The number 28, Bob Mueller. Where's Bob? I don't even know what Bob looks like. Never met him before. He joined Trans Am just hours ago and then comes out here and gets second. Puts on a great show in that beautiful Porsche. Can't wait to hear how that happened. Hey, nice to meet you. Welcome to Trans Am. We're going to bring over that second place from Esther. Beautiful Crystal Sensations. And then one of my favorites, this beautiful tool, good boy Bob, Coffee Roasters. So cool to have him back. We've been missing him. Let's hear it. Third place overall. First place Extreme GT. His mom Catherine's here filming. Let's hear it. Eric Joyner from the beautiful state of California. So happy to have him back. Eric is always smiling. Let's get that beautiful Crystal Sensations trophy. Shakes hands with Bob Mueller. I think they're going to go at it this year, hopefully. Sheehan, Lamborghini, Extreme GT, smiling. Looks like you're having fun out there.
Having fun. I've got a great car. It's not very fast, but it sure looks pretty. So I think I win the award for the sexiest car.
Yeah, now explain something to me. You're a Ferrari dealer, but you're driving a Lamborghini. How does that happen?
We bought two GT3 cars out of Hong Kong about a year ago, and I decided we're going to keep one and go racing. I ran Trans Am way back in the 80s, so I thought it'd be fun to come back.
Nice. Well, hey, let's give him a little welcome back to Trans Am. I love it. Bob, what in the world? You just like, you know, it's a pretty day, let's go racing. What happened there?
Yeah, my buddy Brad just said, hey, you need to come over and race Trans Am. I was just racing with SVRA, it was awesome as well. And I said, hey, if we can make it happen, let's do it. And somehow we did. So thanks to Trans Am. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Well, welcome. That is so cool. Eric Joyner. So your guy, Brad, calls in extra competition, huh? How was your race?
Oh, we had a great race. These guys were awesome to race with. It was nice to race with Bob the first time. I think we're going to do a coffee tequila swap between us. And one of these races we'll bring tequila and coffee for everybody. So, yeah, everything's great. It was great to race with Mike, who told me at the beginning of the race, I'm 73 and I'm 73 on the car, which I told him I'm driving the 10 car, so I guess that makes me 10 years old. But we had a great race with Amy, some of the Trans Am people. It was a great race.
Nice. Anybody you want to thank?
Yes.
Your mom's here.
Yeah, I know. I'd like to thank everyone that came out to support me. My mother, Ron, TJ, who always gives me a great car. I don't even see where he is. Brandon, Brad, my friend Steve has been with me forever. Darren, who I went to college with, is out here. And Hunter, we brought a new friend out. Hopefully he'll come out to more. I'd like to also thank Mobile One, who's a new sponsor with us, and Trans Am and Pirelli.
Nice. Awesome. I love it. I love this new Extreme GT class. Hold those Crystal Sensation trophies up high. Let's hear it. Mike Sheehan, Bob Mueller, Eric Joyner, Extreme GT, XGT, putting on a good show out there. So much fun to watch. Bob Mueller, welcome to the series. SVRA feeder series, I guess, to Trans Am. I love hearing that. That's awesome. Now they put on their Pirelli hats. All right, Laguna Seca, I need to hear you loud over these beautiful cars behind us. Mike Sheehan, Bob Mueller, Eric Joyner, hold them up. Dude, I like this crowd. That is fun. All right, now here comes Mike Dallenbach with the champagne. You guys old enough to drink that? Uh-oh. Here it comes. Look out, oh! Eric Joyner getting this, oh, they're all going after me. That's not fair. Mike Sheehan, Bob Mueller, Eric Joyner, ladies and gentlemen, Extreme GT. We know how to have some fun here. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Hey, great show, gentlemen. That was awesome. Nice job. Mike, thank you so much. Porsche, Lamborghini. TA National, 850 plus horsepower. Absolute monsters. Really tough to control. Coming in first place in Masters, Franklin Road Apparel, all the way from Tennessee, gets super loud. Ken Twaits, where's Ken Twaits? First place, Masters. Here he comes, running up here. Here comes Miles. Here comes Esther. Ken Twaits, man, hard-fought battle. Come on up there, get on the top step. First place Masters from Esther. Beautiful. I gotta say, I've been to Ken Twait's shop and he displays these trophies very proudly. They're so beautiful. Thank you guys so much. Ken, Masters, crazy race out there. How's it feel?
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I hope everybody enjoyed that, man. I did. You know, me and Amy got together. Me and Amy had a great race. I'm so happy that it all worked out for her. Me, who made also, you know, it was just awesome that we battled like that. It was great. We need a little more duct tape now, so we'll get ready for Sonoma and see what happens.
Nice. I love it. Let's hear it. Hold it up. I did notice that Ken Twaits is drinking his competitor sponsor's drink, which is cool. That's the camaraderie. Woo, 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 woo. That's the farthest yet. There he hits a competitor's car, puts a huge dent in the roof. Let's hear it, Masters. Ken Twaits all the way from Tennessee. What a show. Ken, there was about 10 to 15 laps there. You were just, if there was DRS, you'd have been in the DRS zone of who made. That was good stuff. Nice job, Ken. Congratulations. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she got a little banged up early in the race. But like we said, she is as tough as McNichol Steel. Third place, two-time Trans Am champion. Let's hear it, Amy Ruman. That number 23. The Amy Army is loud here. Amy, great showing. I love having you up on the podium with us. Esther's going to present you that beautiful third Crystal Sensation trophy. In second place, the teammates all the way from London, England. Let's give it up. Humaid Masood with a great show. Masood, I hear it out there. And then just kind of putting on a clinic again. Set the pole for this race, and then here he is coming up here. Let's give it up for Chris Dyson. Oh, well, CBD. Chris Dyson sporting his sponsor's drink there, getting some energy. Miles is coming with that beautiful Crystal Sensations trophy. I know that Chris and Dyson, they display those trophies very proudly. Prettiest trophies in motorsports. Amy Ruman. That is how you stay in the race and battle. Tell us about that race.
Well, unfortunately, we went off early on with the rears, just didn't hold underneath of us. Too much horsepower from our ECR motors, what can I say? But anyway, you know, we hung on to it to the end and made it to the checkered flag to take home third in our McNichols 23 Corvette. And we're proud to be up here, and we appreciate all the fans coming out and supporting us. And, you know, this one I'll take.
I love it. And yes, I'm going to echo that. I love having fans out here. Masood, we've been struggling to have fans for a while. You've been struggling to come race with us. Doesn't it feel good?
It's absolutely, no, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite tracks. Had a great, you know, overall great weekend. Today was awesome. Had a great race with Ken. Really good battle. That, you know, it's memorable for me. I'll remember this. It's great.
Now, I know half a world away, your mom and your auntie are racing. You got to say hi to them.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm, yeah, watch it online.
He's a little shy with that.
Nice, Masood. Congratulations. Dyson, take the mic, dude. Well, you want me to hold something? Tell us about that race.
Well, Ben, just a great day for the team. I mean, a 1-2 here at Laguna.
Hold it up to your face.
A wonderful day for the team, Ben. 1-2 here for us. A track that's it's made some days and broken our hearts on other days, and to come back here and grab a 1-2 after a tough race there last year. I'm so proud of Hamid. What a brilliant drive from the back. Tommy Dreese and I had a tremendous battle at the beginning, hammer and tongs, and I think it was that way all the way through. I hope we put on a great show for the fans. We love bringing these cars out here to the West Coast. Got some friends here, some boys I've known since I was a kid. So happy to be here, celebrate with them. I'm really proud of the guys for giving us such a great car here, and I couldn't be happier to be going to Sonoma with the Altwell car to celebrate with the Pickett family and hopefully put it in victory lane there as well.
Nice.
I love it. Hold those up, guys. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing an Amy Ruman selfie. I love it. Oh, Tommy's going to be jealous. I love it. There we go. All right, let's hear it. Amy Ruman, who made my suit, Chris Dyson, putting on such a great show. I love this, the Masood crew. I love it. We got to start that chant, Masood. We're gonna give Masood. We're gonna make him show it. You gotta show us your arm. Who wants a hat from Masood? Come on, let's hear it. Boom. Oh, they're fighting for it. Dyson throwing it out. There we go. All right. Amy's got the arm. Look at that. Throwing some heat. All right, come on. Hold up those Crystal Sensations trophies. One more time in the Pirelli hats. Amy Ruman, who made my suit, and Chris Dyson. We got some champions up here on the podium. Uh-oh, he says stay up there from Mike Dallenbach. Uh-oh, watch out. This could get vicious, ladies and gentlemen. One more, let's get loud. Amy Ruman, who made my suit, Chris Dyson. I don't think you guys are going to be able to... Are you going to be... Oh, Chris Dyson, one for the homies. Always pours one out for the homies. Soaking it in. Amy's drinking it, she says. And I hope you guys have time to wash those suits before next weekend. We are at the Mission Foods Sonoma Speed Tour, just a couple hours north. Come on up. You're all invited. Tickets are on sale. Chris Dyson, you got to stay up here. Where is Larry Bishop? Oh, come on. He says he's not here. He left me hanging just last time at Road Atlanta, but Larry Bishop is here to present our MCO Gears Top Gear Award. And we all know WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca is tough on the gearboxes. So, Chris Dyson, get up there. Get up there, Larry.
That's the number right there, right? That's right.
Oh, yeah. He takes away the decimal. Yeah, there we go. Larry, get up here with him. Hold that thing up. Yeah, Larry did stop smiling at that one. He didn't. Yeah, see, we got some Larry Bishop fans. There we go. Let's hear it. Chris Dyson, MCO Gears Top Gear Award. And then I just want you guys to notice something. These crazy GT cars, you guys are excused. Yeah. Larry, thanks for showing up, buddy. Yeah. Oh, Larry's going to throw out a hat, an MCO hat. Nobody gets an MCO hat with racing stripes. Oh. Nice, Larry. You got an arm on you. I want you to notice something. These TA cars are a little bit banged up. They're really tough to drive around. Other than some little rubber marks, Eric Joyner's car looks great, winning the chill out move moment of the race for staying cool under pressure with these crazy TA cars. Let's hear it. Eric Joyner getting to stay cool up here. He made me cool with a little champagne shower earlier. Come on up there, Eric. Hold that Happy Gilmore check up, loud and proud. So, Eric, I got to talk to you because it takes quite a skill. The braking zones of a Porsche and one of these TA cars, quite different. How did you come out unscathed once again?
I think I was extremely lucky sometimes, but other times I was driving around really good drivers. I was around Amy quite a bit. She's top-notch driver. Past champion, excellent. Hamid. I mean, all these guys are great drivers, so they're so well aware. But there's a huge difference in where we make speed here. So I can brake a lot deeper, but all of a sudden their horsepower finally hooks up around here, and they're gone.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting race for sure.
Definitely. Hold on. You're tangled. Eric Joyner, hold that up, Eric Joyner. It's a crazy race because where Eric Joyner's good, the TA cars are not, and where the TA cars are good, Eric Joyner isn't. So that was unbelievable. Chill out. Systems move. Eric Joyner, congratulations. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for the TA XGT SGT race here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. But tomorrow, we have, 42 TA2 cars taking the field. It is going to be crazy. Come to the fan walk tomorrow at noon and watch a great race. Thank you guys so much for coming out. We love coming to Laguna Seca, and we will be back here next year, but we're racing again tomorrow with TA2. Thanks again.
So that ends our podium here at Laguna Seca. What a great celebration and what a great race from our group TA, SGT, XGT, GT Racing. Fantastic stuff. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with SVRA and the one and only Scott Conway after this.
As you can tell, I like to go fast. Our race team is really well prepared. We like to look good, but we also like to dress good, and that's why we shop at Franklin Road Apparel. I own the company, and I wear the clothes that we sell in that store. So check us out. We carry all the top brands: Baldwin, John Barbados, Billy Reed, Goodman brand, and on down the list. So come see us. Franklin Road Apparel, Franklin, Tennessee.
If your tooling isn't quite ready, and you need parts, and you need more parts than just a few, or if your run is just not that big, look to the experts in low-volume production, 3-Dimensional Services. Whether it's 10, 100, or 1,000 parts, we can meet your needs. And if it's 10,000, we can do that too. 3-Dimensional Services delivers high-quality parts for short runs, 70% faster than industry standards. 3-Dimensional Services. Prototype, production, proven.
Menards is the Midwest's ultimate home improvement store. Family owned since 1958, Menards is the one-stop shop where you always save big money. Get the Midwest's best selection nationwide when you shop online at menards.com. We make it easy to complete your projects around the house, big or small. From hardware to plumbing or paint to appliances, we carry it all. Visit menards.com today to save big money at Menards.